Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California at Undersea Comics. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 238. I'm Rene.
Bryan.
I'm faded.
What?
And welcome to the show! That's what we're using.
Couldn't wait till issue 420, huh?
No, I couldn't.
Oh my god, dude.
Wanted to throw a little monkey wrench in there for you.
Oh
You ever,
my goodness.
I was thinking of doing that too
gracious.
on my way in.
Jesus. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
So you did get the hard Arizona.
Let's go ahead and start off the show with some fadedness. And just a reminder, check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com. Check out our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and xmen.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/keepingupwiththenerds. And check out our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. For Noel and Gino out there, haven't visited Primetime in a while, but you know, it's on YouTube, YouTube Music now. So if you guys want to check it out and put our podcast on Primetime Collectibles, we'd appreciate it. I got stopped at the grocery store this week.
Wow. About what?
So someone that knows you, I think, I didn't get their name because I was like in like a headspace of like trying to get home. I was doing my grocery shopping. I'm exiting Ralph's, and then some guy comes up to me, or like from across the parking lot at Ralph's. He goes,
like, do you know Sean?
Yeah. He's just like, hey, and I'm like, what? And he's just like, you're the guy that does videos with Sean, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, cool. I love your guys' content. You guys are doing a great job, and your impersonation of Noel is spot on. And I'm just like,
I feel like this altercation happened different, but you're giving it a...
no, it legitimately happened. That was it.
Hi. What? Hey, friend, who are you? Let me know who you were in the comments.
Like, hi. Do you know Sean? I like Noel. His skin looks great. So... No, it's more like this. So, you know Sean.
That's why Noel...
I watch your podcast. It's very funny. Your Noel impression was spot on. That's it. Well, I'll let you go. You have a lot of things to do. And I'll continue to listen to your podcast. I'll just continue to stalk you.
Right.
Thank you.
Right? He probably knows you.
Yeah.
I think he does. If he pointed your name out, then yeah.
If you saw Bryan in the grocery store, let me know who you were in the comments.
Yeah, please, because it
Oscar,
help us
was
out.
it you? Hi.
Oscar?
What does Oscar look like?
He didn't tell you.
He has a mustache.
No, I think he had a full goatee.
Full goatee.
Yeah.
Hang on. Once again, your fight or flight is terrible.
Dude was across the way. He said like, "Hey, you do videos with Sean."
He was in a close public area,
and
too.
it wasn't like he was gonna.
It's a grocery market. You're gonna run into people you probably know.
Exactly. Not Nicholas.
No.
He gets everything through Instacart.
I do.
Yeah.
He does. That's why nobody knows where I live.
He gets everything delivered by drone. And once the drone delivers,
you know what?
he shoots it.
When I went to go pick up the drive, it was super funny because I ran into a high school buddy of mine at Best Buy. That's when I started talking to you guys because I went over to one of the workers that was working there.
Okay.
And I went. And I was like, "Hey man, can you help me out? Like, what's the difference between these two things?" And then he stood up and he looked at me and he's like, "Valero." And I'm like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And he's like,
"Wait, hold up!" Like,
no, he was like, "Oh, wow, okay." He's like, "What are the chances?"
This son of a bitch.
Honestly, probably. But yeah, I bumped into him, and then I was there talking to him for probably like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
While I was waiting for the thing, and then I was like, "This guy gonna come back with my like SSD?"
No, he's keeping you there forever. You live at Best Buy now. That's it.
I was like,
he's just
all
like,
right.
I gotta weld Nick. I can't let him go.
Yeah, but yeah, I was
You're
at
staying at Best Buy.
I was at Best Buy.
If you lived at Best Buy, would it be that bad?
Yes, because there's no food there.
The food is all the tech, all the technology.
I guess you're kicking in.
You get first dibs at 590s if they get it.
Oh, it is next door to a Rouse, so I guess I could break in there.
If you go through the ceiling, you have to crawl through the roof. You know.
You think the roofs are connected?
I think so.
You
It
think
could
so?
be. Yeah.
It might be.
Go to the ducks.
Huh?
The ducks.
The ducks. There you
It's
go.
always the ducks.
We're in the
Yeah.
ducks.
You do the Bruce Willis thing. Die Hard.
Die inside of a duct. Nobody's ever gonna find me just going, "What's that smell?
It smells in here.
Why does this Ralph smell funky?
Five Nights at Freddy.
Something died in this place." They'll find me in like 30 years.
His body
dried
was
and
preserved.
mummified.
Yeah, it's all
Christ.
mummified with a Slurpee in my hand.
No, a monster. It's a monster in your hand.
So I'm gonna quickly transition into something because I know we have people's attention in the first like 10 minutes of the show. If you guys have noticed, the skits and the podcast are a little bit different, as well as in the description. You guys can see a couple things that have changed. I've mentioned this before, but I mentioned it towards the end. We are now crediting everyone that works on the show because Nick and Sean have done a fantastic job and taking on the responsibility of editing parts of the show and taking a load off of what I used to do, which has been a tremendous help, and I appreciate you guys for doing it. And I think the audiences also really appreciate you guys in that sense because everyone is starting to realize your guys' editing style.
Yeah.
So, if...
Why, in the comments, is it like, oh, this looks like a Nick job?
I say
It looks
Nick
super
did it.
sloppy.
But I think at the end of the day, I think we don't mind carrying your load.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll carry your load.
I'll carry your load all day.
I was...
I'll carry it all over my back.
But just make sure,
like, I was like, it's genuine.
They did it.
as long as you put your load in my trunk, then we're
That's
good.
fine.
Yeah.
You gotta make
Always
sure
be
to.
here to hold your load.
To hold your
Yeah.
load, every single inch of it.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
single inch of
Yeah,
it,
all
man.
right, cool.
Yeah.
I
No matter how messy it gets, we'll clean it up.
you know
Dude
what's,
wipes.
you know what's super funny. I looking at the skits because you so far me and you have done them, and I think you've done one.
Yeah.
Done 2. I did the doll one, and then I also did the
We
recent one.
We all have different directing styles, which is super funny. Where his is like, I'm gonna be dynamic and I'm gonna use like different lenses and all these other things. Mine's more of a Kevin Smith, where we
Okay.
it's just like it's camera A, camera B.
You might have to lower his mic a little bit.
It's a very static camera because in my head I'm going like, this is easy to edit.
No, but you know what? That kind of editing style makes it does. That's kind of what I want to see in everyone though, because like Sean, you're still a baby at it. So you're going to develop your editing style in like maybe about a year or so. You're going to get it. You're
Just
gonna
wait
get
till
your
I
own
can
style.
find like clips.
Just wait
Unlicensed
until you
clips
guys
that I can use.
Just wait until I reach
gonna
my
be-
final
oh.
form.
When I reach
Dude.
my, you know what I did, so did you've been watching the Saturday Night Live
Docs.
documentary?
Yeah.
Did you get to their editing?
Yeah. It's where they stack it, but I thought that they were explaining it. No, they just show it. That they literally take several different shots and then put them all in the sequence.
I did it for this.
Yeah, and
It
makes
worked.
it makes sense, but it makes sense in your way of doing it because I think that the way because I kind of was seeing how they did it.
I could be an editor at SNL. That's what I figured out.
Hey man,
You just got to learn how to color correct. You got to learn how.
Oh,
to,
those
like-
are easy. I can do that. It's fine. I'll figure that out.
No, but it works for you because you can edit. Your angles are pretty like simple, so you can put
Thanks.
everything in sequence, right?
Simple.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Simple.
But I'm always changing angles that
Simple
it doesn't
Jack.
work for me because I have to look at every single one and go like, okay, well this works and that doesn't. So
No, I just kept doing one. I just said sit there and say a
that was
line,
it, yeah. That worked.
Jack.
so I can literally just stack
jumping,
takes
don't
and then just go. No.
At the end of the day, it's interesting to see everyone's editing style. I think it's good that it shows because if people want to know, like, oh, you know what, I like this person's editing style, and I think this person's crap.
It was funny. I told this to both Nick and Sean already, but it was funny because Sean was having a little bit of difficulties with this week's podcast.
Oh, I was afraid you were
Pain
gonna
in
kill
the
yourself, dude.
Ass.
So-
Oh my.
So Nick was telling me about the whole story on the way home from watching Mickey 17, and I'm just like, I told him, he goes like, I'm like, dude, do you know why we don't call you right away? Like, I go, because you're literally just gonna walk in, go like this, and you say it's done, because that's what you always do.
That's
And
what
I
he
go,
did.
and that's what he
It
did.
took a little bit longer than normal,
Yeah.
but he was able to do it like.
Yeah.
You're done.
And it doesn't help.
You
I
can
told
start
him-
editing
I
now.
told-
80% of it's done.
And then
Like,
it doesn't help too that he
thank you.
has like better internet
love you.
too. So when his upload happens, it's like, oh, it's gonna be up in like 2 minutes. Like, while you are like, oh, it's gonna be up in like 6 hours. Like,
Tech
Oh yeah,
support.
because
Yeah.
my internet's like garbage.
That's
but
the thing.
meanwhile, everyone's like, "Oh, dude, this." He was literally telling me when I forget why he came. Oh, you came over like recently with the whole redesign, and then you pointed out to Andy, you were just like, "Oh, like why is this long Ethernet cable over here? You let him like do this Ethernet cable all the way out to this side?" And I'm like, yeah, because Wi-Fi here sucks. It's like, dude, my Wi-Fi is great. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. You can upload a 2-hour-long podcast on
Sounds
the
like
internet.
some
and
peasant problems. I'm just
it is a peasant problem.
What do you have?
Because
Do you have Spectrum? I have Spectrum too.
I
Yeah,
have
but
Spectrum
Spectrum in
too.
my area sucks, dude.
Yeah,
Oh.
it does.
Like
It
I've
does around
legitimately
this
been
area,
wanting to call them and be like, "Hey, like if we're paying like $90 for your
Yeah.
service,
No, you
like
should.
why are there so much? Why is there so much downtime? Why is the service crap? And why haven't you increased our megabit download speed and upload speed?
we don't have Spectrum.
You have FiOS.
Yeah, we switched to FiOS here too.
But also we have the net, the Evo net.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's because Uptown Whittier is slowly allowing other internet providers to kind of go into the areas.
But also that Evo net really like helps. So we have like basically a transponder in one side of the house, second side of the house, in the middle.
yeah,
Creates
And
this
then-
great cone of range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want one.
it's really nice because technically the internet, like the Wi-Fi antenna, isn't on the other side of the house from my room, so it's completely on the other side. So
so you play all your games through Wi-Fi? That's crazy.
well, also
I do too. I'm not wired in.
yeah, his internet was actually not bad.
Yeah.
I was checking it the other day. It's not bad.
It's good enough where Andrew and I can both play Rivals at the same time.
Yeah.
He was hardwired in, and I was still running off the internet. Didn't really drop in frame
It's just
rate.
your garbage internet.
Yeah, it's
just
my
that-
location.
You're the problem.
You're the problem.
I am
No,
the problem.
but as I was saying, I was like, dude, do you know why we don't call you right away? Because we know that if you can figure it out, we can figure it out in some way.
Yeah, I've started to notice that like when Nick problem solves, he problem solves quickly because you don't explain it, you just do it. And then you like after the process is done, you explain it, but it's like literally a method that only you understand.
That's
And
why
I
you have
realized-
to pay attention
Yeah,
and watch really
But then I
closely.
realized. And then
What do you mean
realized-
it's a method
okay.
only I understand? Because I made a shortcut in my head? Is that what
Yeah,
you're trying
no,
to say?
and the reason I figured that out was because I was teaching you how I minimize screens to put in corners and stuff like that, and you called me out and it's just like, oh, you cheated, and I'm like, how did I cheat? It's like that's not how you're supposed to do it. That's not how YouTube taught me. It's like, well, that's how I taught myself. That's how it just so happened to learn.
Yeah.
But I was teaching Sean how to edit. I think it was the podcast or
We made a
the skit.
podcast template.
Yeah.
For the skit.
And
It
I was explaining you everything, and you just kind of like were just like, this is just way too much. It was like I was basically like a professor, and yeah.
It's like- and you're like, I'll come over another day and we can
we'll
walk
work on
through
it.
it. But we got enough to a point where I now know how to set up where I can switch through my tabs for editing, color correcting, certain things like that.
Yeah.
The green screen took me a bit of a while to get down because I got a black one, and I guess when I was trying to get that color specifically out, it wouldn't fully eliminate.
Oh, are you doing Ultra Key on certain things?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that's-
learned the
he did-
power
he did it
of
on the last
Ultra
episode.
Key.
Huh.
I like it.
I gotta learn. I gotta see how you do it because
Just go to YouTube, literally type in how to add a green screen explosion to my video. And then it's just
wait, are you cutting us out and putting us in certain
No,
things,
putting-
or
he's putting it
I'm
over
layering
us.
it over.
So that way, watch the episode.
yeah? Show me what part you did. That way I can.
It's in
see
the very beginning, like the
You know
first
what? You
3
know what
minutes.
that proves? You didn't watch the episode.
I didn't.
Because it's in the first 3
How much,
minutes.
dude? There's so much to watch. We're gonna talk
true.
about everything today. Like, what the heck?
Do it while you're driving.
That's not how that works, Nick.
While you're
No,
driving.
that's not what. No.
He's
Sorry.
built different.
That's how I catch up on everything.
Oh my god, dude.
I watched an entire series. I watched all of Buffy while I was driving.
That's not good.
so I caught up.
I.
Wait, caught up to what? The show's done.
Yeah.
I caught up on my third time viewing it.
Because I needed to also finish Angel, too.
Oh my god.
Do you know how hard it is to watch Buffy and Angel at the same time? It's like
What do
trying
you
to-
mean at the same time?
Where do you start watching Angel? I'm just curious because me and Christy were trying to figure it out. At
When he
what
leaves.
season?
2.
Okay. He leaves at the end of season 2?
He leaves.
Spoiler
No,
alert.
wait. Season. Wait, what season does he end? I think he ends at the. I think he leaves at the end of 3.
Okay.
Because he leaves and he specifically says, "I'm going to LA."
Okay. We
Yeah,
haven't
when-
finished season 3 yet.
When he finished.
He lost his soul, or he lost his soul again.
California.
So he's
No,
so he's not Angel. He's Angelus.
When did we get flagged?
Angelus.
This is what we keep
Freak
saying.
yeah.
In
dude,
the
I love
city.
it.
It's 15 seconds.
Oh, okay.
It's 15
Dude,
seconds.
I love.
Just wait 15 seconds. And we'll do the
In
second.
the city.
So I love. What was it? But yeah. So at a certain point, he leaves to LA, and he specifically says, "I need to change the scenery." So I'm going to go to LA to see if I can, because he feels that a lot of the things that are coming after Buffy
Yeah, because
is
of him.
because of him.
Yeah. Okay.
So he leaves to L.A. and then at that point, that's when.
So we just
it
hadn't gotten
starts.
to the part yet then.
No,
Okay.
because also when you're watching Buffy and Angel, every year there's always a crossover. So Buffy will even say, "I'm going to go to L.A."
Okay.
And then that's the Buffy episode with Angel.
Gotcha.
And I think there's one in season 1, and then there's another one in season 3.
There's not anything like that in season 1.
No, of Angel.
Oh, of Angel. Oh, gotcha.
In Angel, there's one in season 1 because Angel, in season 1 of Angel stops being a vampire for an episode.
Yes.
Like he's cursed by something and he stops being a vampire.
Okay.
And then him and Buffy just have like a sex marathon. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a little too well done. I don't even want you to put the camera on your side. Whoever's editing it, don't show him. Just have him do the sound effects because that was good.
What's your best sound effect?
Don't know.
Do it.
It sounds more like this.
He's like amateur. You gotta sound like
you're
it's
not
hitting the
getting
back of the
anything
throat.
with that traction, man.
Yeah. You're obviously not getting a ring.
Sorry,
like that.
Sensei.
That's why you're not getting a ring.
Sensei Bukaki.
So you have mastered Bukake.
No, we're not doing. I'm not doing a sound effect.
I want you to do a sound effect.
I'm not doing a sound effect.
Come on.
No. What?
Come on. You sounded
So,
so
yes, it's a
sensual
little
when you
bit-
said that too.
You know what? I was gonna do it, and after I heard that, no. Not after-
Oh no, you weren't. Don't
No,
lie.
I was.
No,
I
you
was. I
weren't.
could. You
No,
almost
weren't.
had. You
Just do
almost
it.
had
Just
me,
do
and
it.
then you gotta be like,
Don't-
"Oh, do it."
It's what the fans want.
He's
That's what the fans want.
They
Come on.
want it.
All right. Cameras off you.
No,
It's on me.
I'm-
It's on me. It's on me. Go. Do it.
No.
Come on. It's on me. Right
Who's
now.
editing the podcast?
Probably me. Come
No,
on. Let's go.
Oh, and you think I should trust you?
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
All right. So you make the sound effect. I'll
As long
stand
as
over
this is
here.
recording, he won't
and
do
we'll
it.
just. All right,
Flag
go.
it, Brian. Just
Yeah,
flag
go.
the video so it gets taken down.
Proceed.
It's the closest I'll ever get. It's the.
Jeez.
Just give it to me. Just give it to me.
All right, I'll close my eyes. And you close yours.
If we don't even think about each other.
Yeah, it's not gay.
It's not gay. It's fine.
It's okay.
What? What's wrong? Come on.
I'm waiting, Brian.
Yeah. Because he's not being nice. And you're
Yeah.
you get antsy. You're like, come on. I'm right here. Man.
Well, that's how you turn Brian on. He likes to get yelled at.
Yeah. He likes.
I feel like Brian likes to get yelled at.
What?
He likes
No.
a little toxic.
Yeah.
Like a little toxic.
I
He
feel
does.
I,
Toxic blonde.
why toxic blonde.
Toxic blonde. Yeah.
I feel like you like to get hit. Like I feel like you like it when they're on top of you, just smack.
But is he wrong?
No, yes.
We don't know. Why are you looking at Sean?
Yeah, I know.
No,
Why
it's
would
just-
Sean,
that
why
was
would
like-
Sean know?
It's not true, Sean.
I like how you had to
It's not true. What he's saying is lies.
I like how you had to reassure Sean of just like Sean, you're lying. I swear.
You sure about that?
You sure
Are you
about
sure
that?
about
That's just
that?
a bold statement to make on this show.
Because I'm like that.
Oh,
But anyway,
I like a little pain, okay?
yeah.
And that's okay.
nipple clamps,
Yeah.
you know? It's
Choking
Listen.
is fine. Blue is a warning sign.
blue and
Blue and
when we get to
blood.
purple,
Yeah.
then we draw
Yeah,
concern.
blue and blood. Like that's, if I start seeing blood, maybe we're going down
Code
some
words are
dangerous.
important.
Yeah,
We're
safe
crossing-
word. That's why safe words are invented.
Yeah.
This is why we have a conversation and safe words are invented.
Oh my god, dude. You guys are too much. Before we get to comic strips, I wanted to talk. I'm not doing the stupid sound effect, dude. So, okay, I was talking about Severance last week. I finally got 3 episodes in. I didn't know that you didn't watch it. You watch everything in the world, dude.
The only thing I haven't really seen Apple TV stuff.
Okay, but Ted
Except
Lasso.
for Shrink. I watched Ted Lasso,
Yeah.
and then Shrinking had Harrison Ford, so I had to watch.
Yeah,
it.
dude. Well, he's dead now. So.
Have you seen
He's
the
not
Pit?
dead.
Have you seen The Pit? Because I think that's an Apple.
No, that's a Max. It's on Max.
Oh, it's on Max.
So there's a lot of like Apple TV
Max.
stuff because I want to watch Monarch. I want to watch The Greatest Beer Run. The
Oh,
Morning
Greatest
Show.
Beer Run's good.
Greatest
movie.
Beer Run's
Yeah.
really good. The one with Taron Egerton is also really good too.
Oh, Tetris.
No,
No.
Blackbird.
Yeah,
Oh,
Blackbird.
Blackbird. Okay.
That one's really good where he goes in and he's trying to get a serial killer to confess to his murders. That one's really, really
Okay.
good.
Because
I'll give it a
Taron
watch.
Egerton plays a
Con, like he's a con man.
He's a con man. He goes to jail, and then they give him a deal. Be like, we will let you go free if you can get a confession out of him, and that's
Okay.
his motivation.
Yeah, and he's like
Is this
trying.
on Apple TV?
It's on Apple
Yes.
TV.
Super good. It's a
Movie or
limited
series?
series.
Yeah.
It's a limited series. It's done.
Okay.
That's it.
Ooh.
And,
So
yeah, it's Taron Egerton and the dude who played Rooster.
No.
No.
Oh, Miles Teller?
No,
Stingray.
Stingray in Cobra Kai.
In Cobra
Oh,
Kai.
nice.
He plays the serial killer.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yes,
I know exactly.
The guy who plays
Thank
the
you.
guy who plays
Yeah.
Stingray. He's the serial killer. that
Okay.
is
He plays a
Taron-
good unhinged murderer.
Unhinged person.
and he
Yes.
and like Taron Egerton is like trying to buddy up with this guy to like get him to confess to all the murders that he's committed to. And like there are scenes where he's like somewhat, but he's doing it in hyperbole of like if I did
Yeah.
or if I would, this is how I
So
would
that's
have done
another
it.
one I got to add to the list. But
It's good.
I was watching Severance, and apparently, does the show make you uncomfortable?
No.
Did it make you uncomfortable?
Made me interested after the first episode.
Yeah,
definitely.
it never made me uncomfortable.
No.
Did you watch Severance?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
So
I'm close to.
So
I'm gonna
I
pull
told
the trigger on that soon.
I told my coworkers, I was just like, because one of the dietitians I work with, she's really into TV shows and movies with her husband and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, have you ever seen the show Severance? I'm like, yeah, I finished the first season, but my husband and I couldn't really watch after the first season. My husband went on to do the second one. And I'm like, that's cool. I just started watching it. And I just have to say, the show puts me at peace. And they all turned around and was like, what do you mean it puts you at peace?
Because you're a weirdo.
Apparently, because no, I thought
no,
it
it's not
was
apparent, dude. That's a weird statement.
You're just weird.
That's a weird statement.
It's
I bet you Ben still been like, what do you mean? You
no.
watched the show, right?
So here's why it puts me at peace.
Yeah.
I don't.
Every time you keep saying it.
So here's why.
Yeah.
So when they
The reason why the show makes me feel good.
I like
I
like
want this to
brainwashing.
happen.
Split my brain up, please. No, it's the fact that when he is, I think his name is Mark, right? The main character. So when Mark is in his personal life, it's grayscale.
His Audi.
His Audi, it's grayscaled. So it's a lot of grays, a lot of dark browns, a lot of inconsistencies, perpendicular lines. Like nothing is even.
Yes.
But when he goes into Luman, when he goes into the Severance,
When he goes into the
Yeah.
corporation.
Yeah, The Office.
Ben Stiller does a fantastic job at making every scene symmetrical.
Does he direct every episode?
I think he directed the first 3.
He directed at least the first 3, but I don't think
Yes.
he directed every single
But
episode.
He writes the show, right?
He conceptualized it, and I think he helps. He's a producer.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I thought it was funny because I watched the first episode with Monica, and I was cooking, and she turned it on, and I was like, I really want to watch the show. And she goes, okay, while you're cooking, I'll put it on because I can pay attention to 2 things at once.
I know 3 things, if anything.
She can't. So then I'm paying attention. So I'm watching it, and then she's watching it too. And then the first episode ends, and then I see her pick up the remote and immediately click the next episode.
Because it's that interesting.
And then I'm like, oh, it got you. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because you're clicking the next, like, you want to see what happens.
We talked about it in the last issue where Andy was watching the first episode of Severance, and I can tell when Andy gets into something because she'll go like this. So she's just watching it to watch. She has kind of her back straight. She's like, but then when she's really into a show, she'll go like this.
The little lean.
And she'll slouch and start watching it, and that's how I know she got hooked. But she got hooked on the first one. For me, I was at peace watching it because of how much symmetry is in the shots. Everything is like so perfect. Like from the hallways that he walks through to his office desk, how the paper is organized on the shelves, like everything is so nice and so clean.
It helped with your autism.
Oh,
I
it
get
helped.
Your kid
so much,
death
dude.
from Soul Eater.
Huh?
Your kid death from Soul Eater.
Is that a bad thing?
in a way.
In a way,
Why?
because
He just
once-
loves symmetry.
You
And
could
he
be-
crumbles
yeah.
when there is none.
So you could be like at your highest moment, you're about to attack, and then notice something that's off place, and you're just like,
And everything shuts off.
yeah, you're kind of like,
It does bother me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it at the Christmas party when Andy kept your phone was right here, you kept lining it. And she's like, you're just like, you're like, stop!
I so far I'm enjoying Severance. I'm really loving it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. The only reason we stopped at episode 3 is because I had to go do something, and then Monica needed to go do like laundry, and she was like, "All right,
Time out.
time out. We're stopping here." And she's like, "You can't watch anymore." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm fine. I won't watch anymore." So I haven't touched it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So I haven't
Got
touched
that,
it
he said
because
that on camera. So
no,
it's the truth.
No, because the reason I haven't touched it is because I know if I touch it, I'm gonna mess this up for myself. Like Monica's into a show.
Yeah.
She like if I go
You
ahead
got
of
her in.
her,
You got her hooked.
I'm in. But if I'm ahead of her, it's gonna throw
It's
her
like
off.
fishing. It's like, all right, hold it. You got to
Well-
reel her in slowly.
Well, no, because then it goes then it goes from the ooh, this is interesting to so what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
and then her asking me 20 questions throughout the show.
Oh yeah.
Instead, because when we're watching
Well, that's-
shows that I haven't seen either, she just watches because she understands you have no idea what's going on either. But then she'll ask questions of like in the middle, but she's like, "Do you think that that's like real?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like that's a great question." But like if I've seen it, she just goes because her anxiety builds, and then she wants that relief in the anxiety. So she'll go like, "Is he really gonna die?" And then I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe we should watch the movie." And then she's like, "No. Like is he gonna die?" And I'm like, I don't know. We should watch the movie. And she's like, I hate you.
Do you want to watch like a high tension documentary with her this weekend?
What were we watching? We started to.
It's a mini series. I think it's like 5 or
Which
6
one?
episodes. Expedition from Hell. It's this guy who sets out in like I think 2009, 2011. He's a sham. Okay, he's a grifter.
Okay.
Right from the get go.
I love grifters.
He says, I'm going to be the first person in history to walk from one end of the Amazon all the way to the other. It's never been done. No, it's impossible.
Because you die.
So he sets up this open invitation to people like, hey, send me your videos of you webcamming and telling me why I should bring you on my expedition. Okay, so a bunch of like random people end up
Did
joining.
he start killing them in the Amazon? Like they would disappear?
He might as well have. What he put them through, this man is like an evil genius person. Okay, he breaks their morality. If he senses anyone trying to like upstage him or like who's doing better than him, he just attacks them like a dog. And everyone's like, well, I'm already here on this trip. I spent all this money, and the next checkpoint is like 1,000 miles away. So I just got to put up with it because I can't go back.
That sounds interesting. I want to watch it. Where is it? What's that on?
It's on Max.
Okay. The one that me and her were watching was the one with the social media chick who like they went vanning with her boyfriend, and then like as she's vanning.
Oh, the one on Netflix.
The one that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Me and Monica were watching it. And then as we were watching it, I went, this is dumb. I've never had a real life moment of the glass onion.
Oh.
Of going like, of everybody going like, he's kind of smart for like killing his girlfriend in this forest. And I kind of felt like going like, no, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. Like,
I love that character.
the moment of him just going like
brilliant.
it's so brilliant. No, it's just dumb.
Who says that live?
It's Blanc. It's
Benoit.
Blanc.
Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc. Yeah.
Matt LeBlanc.
Matt
No.
LeBlanc.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
Benoit.
but no, because they're talking about it and they were like, yeah, like he took her out into the thing and then he got her cell phone and then he would leave and then make text messages with it and then he would then come back to his cell phone and respond and everything else like she was in a different area. And I'm like, this sounds like a whole lot of work that didn't work.
Like, he got caught.
If they get a documentary out of it,
Like you got caught, and then even the cops are talking about it, going like, we could track the cell phone, and we could track that the cell phone made a text message, and then it followed him, and then 2 cell phones were turned on at the same time in the same van.
This is why you get burner phones from 7-Eleven that are super cheap.
He was texting because he was texting his mom. He was texting her mom and her sister, pretending to be her. And I go, this is so much easier than what he did. And then Monica goes, what? And I go, they're already vanning. Take her on a hike. Push her off a ledge. You're done.
Yeah.
And then you call the cop. And you make sure it's like a bunch
Her
of
ankle buckled and she fell and hit her head. Oh my god.
No, and then you call the cops, and then they do an entire rescue mission. They do everything like that. She's dead. She fell at the bottom of the ravine. I couldn't do anything. She just slipped. She was trying to take pictures, and she slipped.
Moral of the story: don't go on a trip with Nick.
Yes, exactly. Because you might not come back.
Well, because we were talking about just like the mental capacity of why people resort to just killing when
Yeah.
it's just like You could have just easily just either get a divorce. We talked about the guy that killed his family.
The family annihilated his wife and kids.
Yeah.
Where he like murdered his wife and like buried her in the backyard, and then like took his kids out to an oil field in the middle of the desert,
and
then
put them in oil drums.
Yeah, then put him in an oil drum and they suffocated to death, so that way he could have his life.
And then they went missing, and he was on the news like, I don't know where they're at. But I've sent.
If you have them, please tell me.
Did this happen here in California?
Huh?
Did that happen here in California?
No,
okay.
it happened in a different state.
It happened. I think it was
some
Utah or
But that's
something.
the thing. But that's the thing. But come to find out, the reason why he did that is because he had a mistress and he wanted to be with her. And
And I was like, go get milk.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, like why did you think that? Oh yeah,
at least.
oh yeah, I found this girl, but I'm married, so I'm just gonna kill my wife.
There's some
And
people
his
that have
family.
screws
So
with
then
it.
I know, but it's such a leap. It was such a leap.
I told him, okay, well, this is it. And I'm not saying that this is me. I'm just saying I'm in the mindset of a serial killer here, of a crazy person. This isn't me. I told him. So I told him, I'm like, well, maybe he was thinking in his head that he didn't want the label of being the you might have to
A
believe
deadbeat.
me. Yeah, a deadbeat dad.
So I went. So you went with. So
So
when he
he
was
went
okay
with-
with being
yeah.
a murderer.
So he was like, I'll just
be
kill
a
her.
murderer.
I'll just kill her instead.
Yeah.
And then I'll just say that she's missing and no one has to question it. He still got caught. Like
So there was
Once
no way.
again-
there was
Yeah.
dude, like you still got caught.
I think if it, you know what, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say all problems are different.
Have you seen?
I went to
layers
high
to it.
school with the kid that happened to.
What?
That
what?
happened to him
That
and
what?
his siblings.
That his family got annihilated?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Because he had left school that day, and
He got
he was
annihilated
fine.
too.
He did not. He did not. Him and his sister did not.
Because
Thank
they were
God.
at school.
They were at school. The dad
wow.
did try picking them up, but for whatever reason, security or someone in the office just
Didn't-
notified them and tried contacting the mom, or I think it was the aunt,
Oh wow.
and he kind of went postal
Most
on
likely-
the
well-
cousins and the wife.
You know what?
And then
I've been in some situations because there's a kid that the mom and dad are getting a divorce, and the dad did beat mom, and like there was some violence in the home.
Yeah.
But she hasn't she never reported it to the cops. So she reported it to the school, but she hasn't reported it to the cops. And not only that, but also they're separated, and he's still on the pickup form as like a parent.
oh damn.
So according to the law, we have to release him.
Yeah.
The kid didn't want to go, and he was like hiding on campus, and he didn't want to leave. And they had to like force him to go with the dad, and they were like, there's nothing we can do. Literally, like the dad could call the cops on us and say they're holding my kid and everything else, because there isn't any like police record. There's nothing else that's saying that he can't be released to that dad.
Yeah.
And everything else. And you can see how awkward the kid is when he's like getting picked up by the dad. And like it's a really awkward situation where you're like, ugh. I don't like this situation.
That's a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh, also
Comic strips. We're done with that conversation. Comic strips. Sean, take it away, please.
Comic strips, a portion of the show where we don't tangent for
What?
more than 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the topic. We normally do. WWE pay-per-view Elimination Chamber aired earlier last week with John Cena finally turning full heel right before the show's ending. John Cena's doctor of thugonomics, Arrow was not a full heel turn. It has been rumored that he was supposed to heel turn back in 2012 to feud with The Rock. WrestleMania 41 will feature John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at the main event. More info to come as we are officially about a month out of the event.
Yes.
So
my question is that does John Cena retire as a heel?
no.
No, I think what they're gonna do is that they're gonna have him enter WrestleMania as a heel, and then when he loses the championship, he's gonna have a redeeming arc after that as well too. Because I think they're trying to do is that they're trying to end his tour with another championship win, and then also with this heel turn as well too. Because you mentioned in 2012 they were gonna do it. John Cena has said it in an interview and in a podcast as well too, that in 2012 the heel turn was gonna happen. It was gonna be with The Rock. It was a storyline that they were building up for months, and he had his intro ready. He had his gear ready.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was gonna do it. He was gonna do it. Vince pulled out last minute. He goes, I don't want to do it. It doesn't seem like a good idea. And I'm just not, it doesn't feel right because he was afraid. He was afraid that he was within the hypeness of John Cena, that he was still being loved. He was doing Make-A-Wish. He was essentially the face of the company at the time too. And he was afraid that if that was going to happen, all that would go away.
Yeah.
Obviously would have to, because John Cena is committed to the character he does and what he represents in the company and stuff like that.
I do want to see how he shows up in the next.
That was tonight. He's supposed to show up tonight.
Supposed to show up tonight as we're recording. But it's so funny. After the post show of Elimination Chamber, so they do like this like little press conference thing after every premium event, and John Cena just literally just goes, sits down, grabs the mic, and drops it, and then walks out.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So my thing is that I want to see John Cena versus R-Truth.
We might not get that until the end because they've talked about it in R-Truth. So,
Did
you see R-Truth socials?
No.
Oh my God.
He keeps defending John Cena.
He's like, tell me this ain't true.
Yeah.
So my thing is that I want to see Cena on Cena. Where R-Truth is then fighting as John Cena in John Cena's good guy gear.
Well, it's his childhood hero.
But I want to see him in John Cena's like hero gear versus John Cena in his villain gear.
Yeah.
And then it's like Cena on Cena, and they're both doing like
each other's moves.
Just John Cena's moves.
So the rumor is that John Cena supposedly has a new moveset that he's going to be premiering when he wrestles in his kind of like heel look. My guess is that I'm on board with what Rene is conceptualizing.
Do you think he's going to have a hat? Or a yarmulke?
No, I think it's going to be more.
He said the heel turn he was going to do was going to be complete opposite of what he was doing.
I'm just wondering if he's going to have a hat to cover that bald spot.
So Cody has addressed John Cena and The Rock.
What did he say?
With a bold statement.
What's the statement?
Come and get some.
You want to whip me?
Come and get some.
Okay, here's my thing.
Yeah, he has a pretty good shiner.
Here's my thing. I don't understand. I don't know why The Rock thinks that this is like the most like shameful thing in the world to beat somebody with a belt. I don't know.
He has a fixation, right?
It's a thing that keeps happening.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Like
Weirdo.
all the bits that Rock plans and all the bits, like it always ends with, and then I'm gonna slap you with the belt.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna keep slapping you with the belt.
So here's
and it's a weird fetish.
Projecting much?
No,
it's a weird
You
thing.
know what? It's not projecting because like he's done this before in like multiple different eras of his like career with.
But he
WWE.
likes hitting people with a belt.
But no, he has different moments. So like for example, when he came back, right, in 2010-ish, around that era, he was very much the kind of like, he was a Hollywood star. He kind of had his like movesets to be more glamorous and everything. And so he had a fixation on like one particular aspect, which he always had to do the final finishing move on everything he did. For whatever reason, the final boss bit, it is the belt. And that's the most annoying thing. Because at first it's interesting. I was just like, okay, he's beating Cody senseless with a belt. But then it's like every single time he's going to beat Cody, it's with a belt. And I didn't like
it. And not only that, but now he's getting accessories
with
the belt.
So
he had a belt.
Well,
and then
he
had a belt that said Cody's soul.
I like that.
And then he had like another belt. And I'm like, oh, this guy is going to look like an anime character by the time we're done.
The thing is that Cody,
he's going to look like Seto Kaiba.
Before Cody was a champion, he would always have the belt on, the little nightmare belt, and then give it to a kid in the audience and stuff like that. I'm thinking in my head, maybe like because he's champion now, they're not selling belts, and they're like, we gotta do something with these belts, man. Like, we have a warehouse. Cody's champion right now. We're not selling. He's not making any new ones. Rock's like, give me that. I'll whip his ass.
I'm gonna whip him with the belt.
Whip his candy ass.
I'm gonna whip his candy ass
with the belt.
That sounds like Stone Cold.
All right, so I kind of think that my prediction for WrestleMania main event, right? It is going to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, and The Rock will be overseeing the entire event.
Oh, no, The Rock's gonna get involved.
The Rock will get involved, but I think what probably ends up happening is that John Cena will win that event and become champion for like a week or two, and then CM Punk calls in the favor that Paul Heyman supposedly had with him
now
for CM Punk to become the undisputed champion.
My thing is that I feel Cody doesn't lose because it's a little quick for him to lose the belt.
No, 300 days is good. He's been champion for 333 as
But
of
you
today.
went from one. You couldn't even. But it was one WrestleMania to another.
Yeah.
And you lost the belt on kind of like your first.
Yeah.
I think the thing is too is that the reason why Cody will give up the belt is because Cody's a team player. He knows that this is John Cena's last year. This is his last WrestleMania, and he just needs one more title win to break the record.
To
break the record within WWE at least.
Also, if it's pissing off Ric Flair, why not?
Well, it's. I don't think it is it? Because
he tweeted. He said he's. I don't know if people think it's real or not. I think it's real that he's actually upset that Ric Flair.
Well, the thing is, he still
He's
holds. No, he still owes. He still has the biggest title count ever because people are counting WWE championships with him.
Yeah,
he's done more. He's done NWA. He's done WCW and stuff like that. He's like
Ric Flair.
Has like over 20 title wins and stuff like that. So it's more than 14.
Yeah,
but WWE is only acknowledging the WWE championships.
The other thing that I want to address is that what sounds better, the one-time undisputed champion for more than 360 days or a two-time undisputed champion? What sounds better?
Is there any significance to the amount of time?
John Cena's a 16 times champion.
Yeah, he's won
also
16 times. Yeah.
The Miz is a two-time Grand Slam champion. So, like, the significance of a title.
No, I mean the number of days.
Yes. Oh, the number of days. Roman Reigns and it's like relevant in certain ones because Roman Reigns holds the longest, and I think
I choose the second
5
one.
years. Wasn't it like 5 years?
3 years for Roman, and I think the second longest he dethroned not Hulk Hogan, but oh my God,
Randy Orton.
No, it was one of it was in the Hulk era. I forget who it was,
but he still hasn't beaten Bruno Santino's, which is like over like 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing though, because I was talking about it with a coworker over at work, and then he goes, "Do you really think this is John Cena's like last year?" And I go, "No, it's not. This is John Cena. This is his last year doing this bit, maybe, but it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be that thing like what is it called? Like I mean, a bunch of wrestlers did it. I mean, how many times has The Undertaker come back?
Well, yeah, he comes
after
back.
his last match.
Yeah, but the thing is that with Undertaker, he can't wrestle at all. He shouldn't.
He has
just
appearances.
choke slams, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. He can do that, and then that's why when you see him in the ring,
fun to watch.
that's why he says too. When he comes in WWE, he's always on his motorcycle.
That's the American Badass.
American Badass. He goes. That's why he's happy that he can still do the American Badass. Is that it just gives him a chance to just kind of go in. I'm going to come in, do this. And that's it.
It's also the same reason why Stone Cold Steve Austin can't make appearances anymore because he actually has a bad back, so he can't wrestle.
I know, but that's what I mean though. Is that I do feel that this isn't the last time we're going to see John.
No.
I think that his farewell tour is his farewell tour as a wrestler, but he's still going to come back in the redemption arc, not to wrestle, but to like teach the new generation of wrestlers. Because he's mentioned that before.
I wouldn't mind him being kind of like a Dusty Rhodes thing where he's the coach.
100%.
Yeah, he'll still be involved with WWE, but when it comes to in-ring appearances, he's not going to do that so often.
Yeah, and I think that that's okay. Yeah. Like I wouldn't mind Cody to lose the belt. I mean, it makes it relevant, and for me personally, it kind of shuts up the Cody haters for a bit because I do get tired of the immature behavior of people like complaining that Cody Rhodes has done nothing with the belt. When the last year he's had 50-something matches to try to hold on to that belt, and he's done it pretty well. But meanwhile, the same people that want Cody to lose the belt praise Roman Reigns when he only wrestled during PPVs. He hasn't done anything. He didn't do anything for the last year of his like title reign. So it satisfies both groups.
People are always going to.
Is it a matter of script at this point, or is it just overall performance of the wrestlers then?
You have two factions,
yeah.
Because I mean, you and I, Rene, are like fans of both. We can enjoy the athleticism and the script that goes with it. But some people do get tired of the script and compare more of like that's why AEW exists. AEW has no script. It's athleticism.
I would.
And so because you have Ricochet over there now, you have what's his name? The guy that's like going through glasses or through glass panels and starts with a D. Darwin something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I forgot his name.
Charles Darwin?
Not Charles.
Charles Darwin.
No, he kind of looks like Sting in a way.
Darkwing?
Darkwing Duck.
Darby.
Darby.
I was close.
Yeah.
He's like the new hardcore wrestler now.
Yeah. But
that's the thing. It's so with I don't know. I mean, overall, I'm really excited for this new change of John Cena's storyline that they're doing. I'm excited to see what's going to come of it. He's going to come back after a month because he's actually filming something right now. So I'm like we have to wait even longer for John Cena to come back. I'm hoping
I did
he
get
has
a little
new
emotional.
song. Who, him?
I did.
Oh, he did?
I did get a little emotional.
I was
the heel turn.
Oh, the heel turn. I was like, and then I saw videos
I
of
didn't
like
like it.
I also, I
hated
don't
it.
think The Rock knows how to do this.
No.
He does
like
And I was like, what was that? Like,
he started here, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna do the cutthroat. Now I'm just gonna go across my.
Does he have cerebral
super
palsy?
I don't know what happened.
No,
Developed
it's
it?
because
I
people
think
are
he
pointing.
felt his jawline. He was like, oh shit.
like
So no,
no, because what I feel like he was doing is he then went into his rock. I think he went into a rock moment because he went like this, and then for some reason his thumb came out.
Yeah.
And then he did
He
this.
felt himself for a second.
And then he was like, that's actually a really, oh, wait, I'm on camera. And then he did this. And then I was like, what the hell was
someone
that?
pointed out that when he offered Cody, or when he did the proposal to Cody, he did a 3, and then when he did this, he did a 2. So there's going to be a moment where he comes up and does a 1, and it's signifying that there's going to be a new faction member in whatever that group is called. I wanted to be called the Final 3.
So does that, I think that would be hilarious if the Attitude Era just comes back. Like
People are saying
as
that,
like
yeah.
the big boss's crew.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
They're kind of doing that with wrestling right now. With now that Raw is on Netflix, they're taking bigger risks and they're showing more stuff.
See,
now.
I think it would be hilarious if you went, cool, we're gonna bring Triple H back. He's gonna.
Oh, dude, his legs are so skinny.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're like
Chicken legs?
Yeah, he's got chicken legs.
Because they only ever show this.
Yeah.
Well,
And he wears pants. So.
He also has a terrible back.
Yeah, he does.
Like he can't wrestle.
They all have terrible backs.
They've all did. Yeah, that's the thing.
The Attitude Era was terrible for people's backs, dude. Like they were dropping everything on them.
I don't get how the Hardy Boys are still wrestling right now.
Or Shane McMahon somehow still walking with that many concussions in his head.
Oh no.
Oh, dude, Shane McMahon went through some hell, man.
What about Mankind? I know he was always bleeding and
too.
stuff.
He can't wrestle. Yeah, he's actually gone to doctors to have him see if they can clear him, and no doctor will clear him. He's like,
same thing with Rey Mysterio. Mysterio, I'm surprised he's still.
Yeah, but he's short.
What does that have to do with anything?
He's built firm and stocky.
What's his name? The wrestler. Oh my gosh, I have it in the tip of my tongue and I can't remember his name. His famous one is when he falls into the announcer table from the top of the steel cage. Mick Foley.
Mick Foley.
Dude, Mick Foley went through it too.
Well, that's Mankind. Mankind is Mick Foley.
Okay,
yeah.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, Mick Foley can't do crap.
Mick Foley and The Rock's tag team was always really cool.
Oh, The Rock and Socking.
Oh my God, yes.
Dr. Socko!
What about if that's his third horseman?
That'd be cool.
What if that's his third horseman?
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that, honestly. That'd be cool. Just
dude, what if you have Mick Foley coming out as the Rock'em Sock'em? And no, because it's like all of Rock's past enemies and allies, and they're all just like a gang of people. He's the big boss in the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
The retirement home.
Yeah. He comes out.
They're wheeling down the ramp. They're going too fast.
Right?
All right, let's speed race through the rest of the comic
Yes.
strips.
All right. Everything else is pretty quick for us.
All right.
In an interview with Empire Magazine, James Cameron states that Avatar: Fire and Ash will be the longest film of the franchise yet,
Pass.
with a whopping 3 hours and 12 minutes.
not
The
seen
last
that.
film was 3 hours and 12 minutes. How much you want to bet?
Way of Water.
Way of Water was 3 hours and 12
Was it
minutes.
really?
Yes, it was.
I could feel it.
No, I heard. So when
I
I saw
felt
that, I relived
Yeah, you
our
were snoring
moment
through
there.
most of it.
Yeah,
And I was like,
You were snoring through most of the movie.
oh my god, dude, I was pissed.
I did fall asleep.
You did. And here's the thing.
I fell asleep. Here's how you know the movie was too long. I fell asleep,
And you still caught up.
And when I woke up 20 minutes later, I knew what was happening. That's how I knew. I was like, oh.
Have you ever seen Way of Water?
I'm not going to.
Oh
No,
no.
okay.
After you guys told
Hold
me
on,
like
we're-
how long, and after I heard enough of it, I'm
I know,
like,
but we're.
you don't need to kill the same villain twice in the movie to make a point. And no,
Dude,
it's terrible.
Hold on, but I was watching the movie and I did fall asleep because at a certain point I'm just like, get to the point. and then I fell asleep and the only reason I woke up is because I gave one of these in the I gave one of those in the theater and all I felt was Rene go. wake up! And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, dang. And then I looked at the time and I'm like, oh, shoot, I fell asleep for like 20 minutes.
And we weren't even halfway through the movie.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, man, I fell asleep for 20 minutes. Oh, I'm going to be so lost. And then I started watching it and I was like, wait.
I think
I know where I am.
I think that was like the second time that they go into the water village or something like that. Yeah, I was like, still so far.
Did you
away.
guys like it? Did you think it sucked?
No sane human being would actually like way
Probably
above.
not. Are you guys excited for the next one? I know we're not.
Not at all.
I'm gonna
It's
watch
the way.
it.
What is this one called? Fire and Sky?
Fire and Ash.
Fire and Ash.
How much you want to bet that this movie's 3 hours 15 minutes?
I swear to God, if there is one
4 hours and 15 minutes.
If there's one Navi that is in this movie and he has a scar over his eye, and then he's complaining about the pride,
red Navi.
and he's a red Navi, and he's just complaining about like, I want to get my honor back, and I want to do all these things, and then he has an uncle that just talks about tea, I'm gonna be like, he ripped this off.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done.
Instead of calling him Scar King, they call him Scarface or something like that.
Oh yeah, they call him Scarface.
Little
What-
bitch.
Scarface.
We're gonna have to give you a
Scar
nickname.
Yeah.
That matches that
Can't
scar.
do Scar King, can't do Scarface.
Why is that scar on your
Scarman?
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 Scarman.
Okay.
My name is Scarman of the Fire Tribe. Deadline reports that an animated live-action hybrid series featuring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is being worked on for Disney+. Jon Favreau will be writing and producing.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Can't do anything wrong with that. It's Jon Favreau.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oswald?
Oswald the Rabbit.
He's
Oswald the Rabbit. He's
No, who asked for that though? I'm like,
Oh, no one did. But it's Jon Favreau.
But no one asked for Oswald and the Amazing Journey for the Wii, and we got 2 of those games,
they were
and those
pretty good.
games
Wait, what?
rocked.
I don't know.
Look, to my people who know about it,
sorry.
you know about
I
it.
never got the Wii because I was poor.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can get them on your Switch.
I don't have a Switch. I'm poor.
I don't know. Switch or food? You gotta make choices.
You can eat the Switch.
You can eat
I
the
could buy
cartridges.
Switch, sell the Switch, and get food.
I mean, that's a
make
way.
money.
I mean, that's a way.
Amazon payment plan. Taco Bell had their live Moss event.
Live Moss.
Live
Was
Moss.
okay again? Was that needed?
Yes.
Do I
Live
need
Moss event.
Yes.
It was
Jobs
so
production
dumb.
of
It
Taco Bell?
It could have been a parody. It could
Taco
have been.
Bell could not
No.
do anything wrong.
No.
dude.
Yeah,
it was
No,
so
we can't.
You know what they
stupid.
did? They made a Steve Jobs production for
Yes.
the fucking menu.
Like, come on.
Here's
No,
my-
no, hang on. I'm going to defend Taco Bell
No,
for a
you
second.
can't.
No.
There's
I
only
love
2
Taco
things.
Bell. I love Taco Bell.
Taco Bell's only
even
got
I
2
thought that
things
was
wrong in their
stupid.
life. 1, the French fries. 2, the chicken nuggets.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, the fries were
That's
stupid.
where
Those
that's where
nacho
the-
fries sucked.
The
Wait,
nacho
okay.
fries are terrible.
I'm
That's-
sorry.
that's
I'm sorry
what-
if you
that's
like
your-
them,
that's
but I
your
thought they
line
sucked.
in
That's my
saying.
line. That's my line.
The
Anyways.
diarrhea wasn't.
Anyways, look, Taco Bell did some crazy stuff this time around. All right, guys, they did some wild stuff. They're living Moss. They're living Moss right now because they featured this new food item. This item includes churros, ube cookies. Why?
Because
a taco
why not?
with a shell made completely out of cheese, which
Hell
I love.
yeah.
A
Listen.
new
Okay, that's
Baja
not bad.
Blast
Listen.
flavor.
That's not bad.
And a purple chili sauce that will
Did you see
require
it?
a waiver to be signed before consumption.
Hey, did you see at the very bottom where it has the ube enema? You just kind of finger it in your own butt.
Oh, nice preparation H,
Well,
Taco Bell
that-
style.
You swoosh it around and then it cools your butthole down for what's gonna come next.
The only thing I'm excited to try is, and I just want to see how well they executed that cheese taco shell.
Dude,
that's the only
I
thing.
actually, you know
the
what?
only
I'm not-
thing I want to know if they managed
Okay.
to get it right.
Dude,
'cause
if
it's
I
ambitious.
could, I'd eat taco. I want to supersize me like a 30
Of
days
just Taco
of
Bell?
just Taco Bell, dude.
Oh, don't do
Oh
it.
my god, I would love it, dude.
Well,
You might actually
it's-
lose weight.
Yeah, because it's
could.
it's
It's a
not even
diuretic.
Really,
I mean, you
I'm-
just drink
I'm
a lot
good
of
with that.
water.
Yeah, I'm good
Yeah.
with that.
don't drink Baja Blast. Just eliminate soda if you're gonna be doing that. Just do
You
that.
know, I finally made peace with Baja Blast.
Why?
I didn't like it at 1st because too many people thought that it was like the prime
Superior
flavor. Yeah, and I'm just like,
flavor.
shut up. It's not. We all know that it's pitch black. Pitch
What?
black is on top 3.
I'm sorry, what?
okay, it's a purple one.
Mountain Dew, pitch black.
Mountain,
Yeah.
yeah, Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
What, you mean the Baja Blast Midnight?
No,
No.
I'm saying no. There are
No.
people that exist that think that Baja Blast is a superior Mountain
It
Dew
is.
flavor. It's not.
It is.
Well, actually, you know what? You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that because you're not dumb. All right, there are people who actually believe it is.
Aw.
But those same people also think that Code Red is good, and Code Red sucks.
You know what
Red's
else
not
some
bad.
people think?
I like Code
I like
Red.
Code Red.
Yeah,
I wouldn't buy it.
I bet.
Hold on, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. I just wouldn't buy it.
No. Code Red is one soda that you have to drink super cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's warm even slightly, it sucks.
You know what?
But if it's like cold, like it was shoved in the freezer,
Yeah.
and like you got it out just before it froze, and you were like, and you drink that thing
Too much
down.
work for a soda.
Ooh.
But I have to play video
To
games while
enjoy.
drinking Code Red. Andy asked me, she's just like, "What's
Good
this
stuff.
Midnight Baja Blast flavor?" And I'm like, "It's Midnight Baja Blast." She's like,
And
"No,
then-
but what flavor is it?" I'm
Why,
like,
did she-
"Midnight Baja
did-
Blast."
What does it taste like?
Midnight Baja Blast.
So if you could describe the palette of the flavors, is it more of a refreshing?
It's Midnight Baja Blast.
Is it more
What
of a
has
grape?
more notes
like,
of
oh
what?
my
No,
God.
No one.
Well,
No one.
well,
If you were to
it-
tell me
so-
what flavor Mountain Dew is, I'll tell you it's Mountain Dew. It's
So-
either Mountain
so
Dew
let me-
Pitch Black,
so
Blue
I'll
Voltage.
explain it to you. I'll explain it to you. When the first sip, you Baja,
You get.
Okay.
and then once it kind of like hits the back of your throat, that's the
Midnight.
blast.
No.
That's the blast.
No.
And then right as it
the
goes,
blast is the carbonation.
Yeah, that's the carbonation.
Oh,
and then right when it
okay,
hits your
okay.
stomach and it kind of upsets it, that's midnight.
I feel like
There,
if you
there it
actually,
is.
like-
That's how you. That's
if you were
that's
to-
the flavors.
If you were to come up to me and tell me it's like, "Oh, I like the cherry flavored Mountain Dew," I'd be like, "You're dumb."
Why?
See,
Because you don't describe flavors of Mountain Dew
This
with the
is-
actual flavors.
this
It's Code
is-
Red or Blue Voltage.
this is the way I imagine
For a
you-
psycho.
Major Apple.
When
Major,
I feel,
Major Tom? What?
No, Major Apple.
I've
I've never heard of that.
I
That's
feel
the
like
green
you.
one that's at
I
Ralph's
feel
now.
like you had to watch this announcement in the bathroom
Why?
because as you were watching it, you were just like,
I miss you, Bowie.
"Oh my god, yeah! Oh, they got a cheese taco! No, it's wrapped in a cheese!" And then you just hear Andy with MJ in the back going like, "Bryan, are you okay? Don't bother me! I'm almost done."
You got so red right now.
And then like right when it finishes, you're like, "Oh, what did I do?"
What have I done?
And then you look at, and then you look at the wall, and you were like, "Oh,
It's that
Oh,
Randy
Lord.
bit from South Park.
It's ectoplasm. Oh gosh.
It's that moment where you're like, where Andy tries to walk in, and you're like, "Don't walk in, you get pregnant again." Don't touch anything.
love
Next,
Taco
next tidbit of news we have. The Rap reports that Christopher Nolan is a top choice to direct the next James Bond movie.
I'm okay with that.
That would.
He's
that'd
always
be
wanted
pretty cool.
to. He literally has always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I've been
Christopher
hearing.
Nolan is having something finished still, and yes, the guy does work there. I have confirmed.
He does.
Oh.
Yes, because he's always complaining about
Nolan?
work. No, about his job, like what he's having to do, and like how
Is the guy that
tedious it
said
is.
Oppenheimer too?
Yes,
That's dumb.
it's not Oppenheimer 2.
It was
Okay.
something
He
else.
he started watching more of it. He was editing something for I don't know what.
The Odyssey. No, that's already still in development.
Still, he
No.
just started.
It was pertaining to though Oppenheimer. So
Maybe it's something else.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, for Christopher Nolan, I've been hearing rumors that Henry Cavill is a hard front runner for Bond.
he's such a terrible actor, though.
For Bond?
No,
I think he can do a Bond.
No, I think we did actually get a test footage reel of him in the past.
But he also did. You ever seen Man from U.N.C.L.E.? He does a
Yeah.
really good job in Man from U.N.C.L.E.
And also in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I can totally see him as a new Bond. I would like him as
I
a new
wanted
Bond.
the Idris Elba. James
Never gonna
Bond.
get it.
I would have
Never gonna get it.
loved
Brick.
that.
James Brick.
Just
James
that-
Idris
just that
Elba?
English-
Idris Elba?
Idris Elba. Thank
10
you.
years ago.
10 years ago. What do you mean?
you know who-
no,
he's
even
really cool.
even in like 2017 when they were talking about it. Actually
He was-
2018 they were speculating that it was going to be.
He,
Idris
but
Elba.
he wasn't gonna get it because he was too old then.
Yeah.
He was already in his early 40s.
He was old in what was it? The
Daniel Craig is
Losers.
also old, but the thing is that Daniel Craig has finesse.
But Daniel Craig started when he was 35. He started when he was like 34, 35.
Mm.
Imagine you right now starting as James Bond.
Oh,
No.
God, no.
No.
James Bond that loves Taco Bell, not gonna happen.
Yeah, I could see it. I'd watch it.
Diabetic-
It'd be like George Lopez.
Diabetic James Bond.
I would like a martini, shaken, not stirred,
I
like
with my
He's
gordito
fighting
crunch.
ice the whole time. He's fighting off ice.
He's just
Baja Blast, shaken, not stirred.
Can I get? I want a martini, shaken, not stirred with Baja Blast.
With Baja Blast.
Sir.
Midnight. It has to be midnight.
Midnight. What's that drink again? Baja Blast.
Bond, you've been poisoned. Oh, it must have been that gordita. Why hasn't Bond continued the mission? He's been on the toilet for the last hour.
They gave him 6 layers instead of 5.
And he took it down with fire sauce.
Nick,
He signed the waiver.
Nick, are you excited?
For?
Oh, for the fact that Andor Season 2 will be releasing on Disney Plus April 22nd.
Yeah.
With a teaser trailer showing a few scenes of
You're not gonna
Gorman
pronounce that.
Mascara. This event involves stormtroopers gunning down thousands by the thousands of protesters in the show of power to the resistance group. In
Yeah.
Legends,
They're
Tarkin also lands his ship on protesters escaping the area. Yeah. Just plow right through them. Just plow right
I
through
want to
'em.
know how dark they'll get with that.
I-
scene.
Oh, it's gonna be like blood, like little
No,
squints.
I don't think you're gonna get any blood per se. I do think though that you are gonna get like a lot of like singed.
They don't show people bleed in Star Wars like
They
ever,
did.
huh?
They did.
They did?
Once
Who?
in the episode 4 when he when Obi-Wan Kenobi chops off his arm. There's blood dripping out off the arm.
Yeah.
It doesn't singe all the way through. You see a bloody arm that's sitting on the ground, and he's like, and then that's when he chops down the doctor.
The doctor or the bartender?
No, the doctor. The guy. The
He doesn't like you.
that guy.
I don't like you either.
He's like Dr. Facilier. That's his name.
You'll be dead.
Yeah, I'm wanted in 37 galaxies, and you're like, oh, why would you brag about that?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call.
Thanks, Bounty.
Thanks,
All
Bounty.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
relax.
That's cool.
And then you just go like, poof,
Cool flex.
Got him here.
I got him.
Double, please.
Yes.
This one's interesting. Per the Hollywood Reporters, Disney has stated that they will no longer develop any original long-form content for Disney Plus. This comes after Disney has officially pulled the plug on the Princess Tiana series announced in 2022. Pixar also announced last year that they will no longer be producing long-form episodic content after the series Win or Lose releasing this year.
Like animated ones, right?
Yeah. Moana 2 was originally conceived
That's
as
a
an
show.
unanimated series, but changed to a theatrical film that led to a $1 billion plus global box office run. Fortunately, Snow White is not going to do that per the event being canceled. The premiere had been canceled.
Really?
They canceled it.
Wow.
Straight up. Why?
Like the Hollywood premiere?
I think it was the England premiere. I'm gonna double check.
Yeah,
on
double
this.
check it real quick.
Yeah.
So
And let me
while
find
he
out
looks
which
that
premiere.
up, I was telling him the other day, I have a new contender for Kang, of who I want to replace Kang, Sterling K. Brown.
Where is he from?
Sterling K. Brown. He was in the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode, The Box. He's the dentist that murders.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's also in like This Is Us. He's also in the new show Paradise.
He's also in the 100.
He's also in the 100, and he was also in Invincible as the villain from last year.
The guy that can interdimensional travel.
Yeah,
According to the Daily Mail, Disney has scrapped plans to premiere the live-action Snow White film in the United Kingdom.
I think
That
that
premiere has been canceled.
I think it's because of all the backlash. I think there's just too much
obviously.
backlash.
Yeah. Even though they set it off for a year.
It's so far that I haven't seen any positive movement on that movie.
But what's with them wanting to cancel the, not doing the long format
So
content?
I think it's
for Disney
because
Plus?
I think
there's no
that's
money
weird.
out of it. There's nothing because like Disney Plus we talked about it a couple of issues ago. I think like well over a year at this point, where Disney Plus is not a platform where you get it because you're wanting to watch new content. If it's not like the Marvel stuff,
Get it
you're
bundled.
not watching
Just
it.
get it bundled with Hulu.
But Disney Plus is like a
what they're doing.
babysitter show.
Yeah.
Because you're putting Disney movies on there for the kids to watch. That's where those movies are at.
I'm not gonna lie, I do that.
Yeah.
Whenever I need to watch, like whenever it's like a rainy day on the site and like I have nothing else for the kids to do,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Let's put on Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
I put on
'Cause it's-
Pokemon.
Pokemon works too, but I put on that, or I'll put on like any of the Mickey Mouse shorts.
Yeah.
They're easy. I can pick any one of them.
And you're
Yeah.
safe.
And I'm
No
safe.
one's gonna complain.
No one's gonna complain. I'm not gonna have any problems with parents or anything like that. You're right. It is a babysitting show.
Yeah.
It's a babysitting network, and like there's like an area where you can get some like more in-depth content. But for the most part, a lot of the cartoons, the kids don't care.
Yeah.
It's
And that's-
nostalgia. You know,
it
I
is.
wanted to watch Fun and Fancy Free. I hadn't seen that in God knows how long.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, everything of that movie is just like came flooding back. And it's
Yeah,
like,
and also like, why are you going to
that's what I'm
spend
going
money
for.
on production when they can't even advertise like their own stuff that's coming out? Like, one of the things that Andy and I really
so
enjoyed
are
watching.
we not going to get more Spider-Man then? Because
No, we are.
technically-
No, it's already been renewed for 2.
Yeah.
For
for
two.
for I think it was renewed
But
for 2
it's,
and
I
3.
think that's separate. So that's the thing, is that when it comes to Marvel Animation and Marvel Studios, you're still going to get that because it's being streamed on Disney Plus. It's Disney specific long form content that's
Yeah.
not being done.
So
So,
I think
like
like the
Disney
car-
Animation.
So like the Cars one. There's a Cars like TV show.
Yeah.
Canceled. I think there's like the Tiana show. Canceled.
No Lego
The other-
Star Wars. No.
Monsters.
I can see a Lego
At
Star
work.
Wars one.
Lucasfilms.
Yeah.
So that counts. But consider this.
Okay.
So Andy and I really enjoyed these shorts called Forky Asks a Question. It was literally Forky
Forky
from
Toy
Toy
Story.
Story 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Four.
he he asks a question like, oh, where do I think one of them was like, what was the trip inside a dog's stomach look like, because one of the toys got eaten by a dog. And so it's like literally a 10-minute short of him being talked to about the one question he has. But none of those shorts ever got advertised. So they're putting money into this production and then not advertising it as being shown.
I feel like that's
their fault.
It's a really weird thing because there's a lot of content that is on Disney that's on Disney Plus.
I'm surprised to come across it.
You kind of don't know it's there.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know it's there sometimes is because when the kids are watching something else, that series will end.
Yeah.
And then it'll just go like, "Did you want to watch this?" And then it'll autoplay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, "What is this?"
Yep.
And I'm kind of start watching it. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know Ratatouille had a show."
Yeah. But the other
what?
thing you have to
Wow,
watch,
okay.
or the other thing you'll kind of notice, is that you will probably still have new shows being produced under Disney Animation, but they'll premiere on the Disney Channel or some other
no, but
platform.
I think they're gonna try and I don't think that it's because it's saying it's the long form.
Mm-hmm.
You're still gonna get shows, but I think you're gonna get more of like clip shows.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get more of like, okay, cool. This is in one episode. It's
Okay.
three shorts.
Yeah.
And that's it. And
Yeah.
I can mess with that. I'm fine with
So,
that.
like, one of the rumors that I heard was Gravity Falls is supposedly coming back
Yeah.
as a prequel.
No, I think it's a new season, because when the Bill Cipher books came out, people were decoding everything. There was a website where you could put in like
Yeah.
very specific codes.
Yeah,
and
I've
then
been
at
watching
one
the Game
point,
Theory ones.
yeah, I love the whole ARG.
Yeah.
Of that they set up for Gravity Falls, but it seems like there is going to be a third.
A third or a prequel, something. The creator hasn't said anything, but like that
No.
show will
Well, this is
not,
him saying it.
Yes, but the show won't be on Disney Plus. It'll be on Disney Channel, and then it'll stream on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Which
That's
kind
smart.
Of, it
that
works.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
You're already building this following. You're gonna build this traction in your app, having people click on it or wanting to find it because they've already seen it.
Yes, but
you
it'll
know?
premiere on the channel.
That-
the only
yeah.
negative thing about this is that they have laid off people in companies. I think the Vancouver studio that was in charge of the Tiana show, they're already doing layoffs. So they're losing people in that studio because they shelved this completely. And then multiple other shows that were in pre-production that have been shelved because of this decision, they're out of jobs at this point.
But I know from a couple people I know in the industry, they do say that like if you're an animator that works for Disney, you have some job security, but not a lot.
You don't, but it's as good on your resume.
It looks
it
amazing,
look-
but
yeah.
but the only thing is that you need to last. So what she was telling me is she goes, you need to last at least 2 years.
Yeah.
I think that's where Jim Bluth came from, was working on Disney. I'm gonna check this real quick.
Yeah. That was the end of ComicStrips, though, right?
Yes, that is the end of comic
So
strips.
anyway, the reason why I was saying that is because I've been watching more and more of Sterling K. Brown's stuff.
Okay.
So I started watching Paradise. Really good show. Have you seen it yet?
No. Is it on Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu. I can't tell you anything about the show
Because?
because if I tell you literally anything about the show, it spoils the show.
Okay.
But it's a really good show, and Sterling K. Brown is the lead
Okay.
of it. And the only thing I can really tell you is that he is a what was it called? He's Secret Service.
You spoiled the show.
He's a Secret Service agent. That's all I can really tell
Now
you.
I know. Now I know what happens. You just
He
might as
didn't
well
work-
just tell
he
me.
didn't get a Sir
But
Ed's
it's interesting because it's no, but it's interesting because it does have kind of 24-ish vibes to it.
Oh, okay.
It has like 24-ish
Okay,
vibes,
enough. You
and
sold
it
it.
has Sterling K. Brown in it. But Sterling K. Brown, the more I'm like seeing him, especially at the end of Invincible season 2 with him playing Langstrom, I feel like he would be an amazing Kang.
He would
Okay.
be a very good if he was like King Prime.
Yes,
I would like that. Yeah,
because he has that like.
he has the demeanor. He has that.
So okay,
He
so
talks very stern to you.
yeah, okay. Remember the box episode that he was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
Where he has that like very stoic look, and then out of nowhere he can flip,
Yes.
and like he immediately starts making fun of them
Yeah.
and stuff, and he's just sitting there taking everything they're giving him,
Yeah. Now I'm remembering the episode.
and then he's like, and then like every so often he would find like something, a flaw,
Yeah.
and then immediately turn it on them, and then he just thinks it's the greatest thing in the world because
Yeah.
he's the smartest man in the room.
Yeah. That was
No.
the episode where Captain Holt and
Jake-
Peralta
and-
spend like a really long time.
The whole
interrogating-
episode.
Yeah.
It's the whole episode.
Yeah.
They spend an entire day. They spend a full 24 hours interrogating.
Yes, I remember that episode.
And then they end up figuring it out and stuff like that. I think because Sterling K. Brown is more of a TV actor, he hasn't gotten enough roles, but he's an amazing actor.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's
it just
been-
depends on his agent.
So many different TV shows.
He's been getting so many good TV shows and great roles to show his range. I feel that he would be an amazing Kang Prime.
Okay.
Instead of, because I feel like we keep going for like, oh, let's get this guy. Oh, let's get this guy.
John
oh,
Bodega or something.
yeah,
like
let's
that,
get all these other people. But I've seen Sterling K. Brown. I've seen him, and especially in Langstrom Levy.
Gut tells me it's him.
Well, no, because even See, my thing is, I'm waiting for you to get to the end of season 2 of Invincible.
Okay.
Because Langstrom is a multiversal character.
Yeah.
Oh, he would be a great king.
That's what
Sterling
Sterling
K.
K. Brown.
That's what he was just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I heard the name. I didn't.
okay.
I couldn't put a
You
face
couldn't
to
put
it.
No, yeah.
I came in
but,
late.
But Sterling K. Watch out, because because Langstrom is a multiversal character,
Yeah, I've seen him.
and he can open portals.
Wait,
and
he
can
was
do all these
in
other
the
things.
beginning of season 2.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but later on he becomes like a villain.
He becomes the villain. Yeah.
Yeah, and like he has like multiversal powers where he can just open up portals and stuff like that. Very Kangy. Very much their version of Kang in the Invincible world.
Okay.
He does such an amazing job at it that I'm like, give this man a job. Like,
Put him in there.
put.
I feel it in here.
Be-
But I feel it in here the most.
But he has such a great like stoicism to him. He has great comedic bits. He's an amazing actor, and I feel that he doesn't get enough.
So I gotta watch Paradise then.
Paradise, I think you would love. I think you would love Paradise.
Is it one season?
It's so far.
So far, it's one
They just ended the first season.
Okay.
I want your opinion on this one, Brian. What about David Johnson?
Which one's David Johnson?
He came Alien Romulus. He's the android. He's still young enough where
He's
he
very
could
young.
play.
He needs to
Kang.
have a different. Oh no. You know
what?
what?
Nathan Richards. Make him Iron Lad.
You know
Nathaniel Richards. I would like him as a Nathaniel Richards.
We're gonna go back to David Johnson.
David
for a second.
Johnson, yeah.
You know why? I just thought of it. Remember when he becomes when he gets his new chip?
Yeah.
And he stops being the.
Him.
when he stops being and he just gets cold.
That's a good one.
He
I know.
has that range where he can turn it on and off in between, and he's already very monotone in a sense.
but that's why I'm
But
saying
there's still compassion. Like it's in his eyes. He has very.
he has
sad
very
eyes.
sad eyes. But that's why I'm saying I think he'd be a better Nathaniel Richards. Like
Want him
his
as a villain. I want him as a villain.
He's already sold on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my head
Can
canon.
we
Ster-
talk
but
about,
Sterling K. Brown is
since
amazing
we're in
actor.
the MCU, can we talk about Daredevil first, and then we'll jump into
let's do it.
17 and Invincible? All right. Daredevil Born Again. After 7 years off the air, we finally get the Daredevil series people have been asking for. I completely forgot that this show was announced in 2020 or 2021.
You know what? It was an interesting leap of they started the show and Matt stopped being a lawyer and he was just working at Jack in the Box. Like,
No.
that's for you, Philip. Like it's been 5 years since the last season, and he's a blind
He's
blind.
a blind guy working at
Jack in the Box,
Yeah.
and he
You know
gets
what's-
everybody's order right, and
gets
you're all
them-
really
goes
surprised.
Sometimes he sneaks an extra taco when you order two.
He does. He's the homie. He's the homie.
Yeah.
No, so
That's
after-
why he's born again.
So I forgot that the show was announced like 5 years ago or something like that, right?
It was in 2022
22.
when it had its official.
It was supposed to be 18 episodes, one season. They were supposed to rebrand the whole show, new characters besides Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes.
They were supposed to restructure his whole origin story, and then they scrapped all that, and within 2 years, right? No, was it
Yes.
1 year? They
It was-
refilmed everything.
Last year they refilmed everything.
And they're doing 2 seasons, 9 episodes each. Yeah, 9 episodes each.
Yeah.
And I think that was the smartest decision Disney could have done because these 2 episodes were fantastic.
I like the first. So the beginning of the first episode is interesting because you can tell that time has passed since the ending of the Netflix season.
Time has passed. We just don't know how much.
I would think maybe like a year to 2 years because their practice has definitely gone on. It's definitely boomed.
It hasn't boomed, but like they've had the conversation that the practice is still kind of like corner shop vibes, where it's like, oh, you guys are taking on pro bono cases.
This is obviously after She-Hulk
yes,
because he was still in he's still doing the practice.
Yeah.
While he's in She-Hulk, we have no idea what happened with him in She-Hulk.
yeah.
I think it was because he was hospitalized. That's
New
why.
Rockstar said that it's kind of like in this weird middle center.
I
watched that, yeah.
I was watching this. I was watching this video, and they were like, "I heard you stop being the devil. Why?" He's like, "She-Hulk. She broke my pelvis."
Death by snoo.
And I'm gonna say it was worth it. I kept going back. I just.
What color is it? Lime green.
Lime green. A little bit of dark on the outside, a little bit of light.
just kept breaking
a
my-
little pea green with a little lime green.
I pee blood, but.
I lost maybe like an inch or two, after all the,
all the
getting
surgeries.
Those
Worth it,
hand
though.
jobs were brutal.
Just.
People ask how I became uncircumcised again. That's why.
She ripped my dick off.
Daredevil
Like,
uncircumcised again.
I made the mistake of saying harder, and then she just went, "Duh!" He's like, where is it? Where is it?
It's like, oh, there is 2 inches inside.
All right, let's get back to the show. Let's go.
Oh, right. Yeah, there was a
He
show.
doesn't need to be blind to see that.
So,
He doesn't need
so the show's first 15, 20 minutes are some of the best. It's one of the best ways he could have brought this show back because it does establish what they've been doing, and then it immediately creates a problem for Matt Murdock to basically like have his downfall.
But it closes the loop, though.
It does close the loop, yeah.
Because at the end of the Netflix series, Bullseye had just gotten his spine surgery. They become a law firm. Murdoch. What is it?
Nelson Page.
Murdoch and Page. They become a firm. Bullseye gets his spine. Wilson Fisk goes off to do Fisk things, and then we kind of know what happened with Fisk, like through Hawkeye and through Echo. Like that's what he talks about the whole time.
Yeah.
Now we need to know what Matt and Bullseye were going to be doing, and how we were going to span this 5 years. I mean, these like 3 years. So it's interesting that they were in the first 20 minutes. They were kind of like, well, let's close the loop on all of these like Netflix storylines. And they do a really good job.
They do. I want to rewatch the sequence again because it's supposed to be another one-shot take, but it's not. You can tell there's multiple cuts in there.
Yes,
But-
and also you can tell that they they do it in such a great way because you see Matt and Bullseye, and they keep going in and out of frame.
Yeah.
And the smoke is so thick that you can't see the stuntmen, but it works, and it's so cool that I'm like, oh yeah, that's
It's so good.
even if it's not one take, it looks beautiful.
It does, yeah. It was a good sequence, and then it goes into 1 year afterwards. So Foggy, spoiler alert, dies.
He gets murdered by
Bit
Bullseye.
the bullet.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is that while he's fighting Bullseye, his attention is split.
Oh, don't just leave it at that because that is a good detail.
Yeah, I love that.
When you watch it, there's that detail of you're watching this fight as a viewer, but you're also in the perspective of Matt. So
Yes.
just watch it with that in mind, and it's a good sequence.
we'll
Leave it at that.
He did tell me what it was, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
that
and-
was an awesome
And the
touch.
the other thing that I liked about it too was I liked the way that I like the cinematography that these directors have been using, especially in the first 20 minutes.
Okay.
I love seeing Matt's perspective because they have a scene where Matt's in a very busy bar and he's talking with with Paige, and then the aspect ratio of the scene changes because you can see Matt focusing on the entire bar, and then all of a sudden he hears Foggy take a phone call, and then he immediately sounds everybody out, and the aspect ratio zooms in on
It
Foggy.
actually gets smaller.
Yeah, it gets smaller, and then you see him zoom into Foggy, and he hears him so clearly.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, that was cool. And they asked him in an interview, how did you guys pull that scene off? And he goes, it's 3 cameras. That's how we did it. It's a gimbal with 3 cameras and with 3 different types of lenses. And then it's all filming everything else. And then we used a little bit of CGI to make them to make
James
the
Gunn
connections.
said that there is a shot in the Superman film that does the same thing. It's
That's
the one where
interesting.
he punches the glass like wall or something. And the camera goes underneath him and then out. It's 2 or 3 cameras. James Gunn confirmed of that, and that's why it looks fake, but it's not. But besides,
that's cool though. But
Yeah,
I
it
do
is cool.
I do like the way that they're shooting Matt's powers.
they are. And it only gets better as the episode goes on. So after we get that sequence, pretty much the first 2 episodes is kind of like laying the foundation for the rest of the show. We actually don't get a Daredevil, not even until the end of episode 2.
Yeah, the end. Once you get into the first like title card, it's the end of Daredevil for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And I kind of like this idea that they're making us wait for the reveal again because we've seen Daredevil multiple different times. This is a Matt Murdock that doesn't want to be a vigilante anymore. He wants to help the city out as a lawyer, not as Daredevil, but he's being pushed to that limit.
Yeah.
And I've heard
His hand is being forced to put on the cowl.
the producers have also said that this show is going to tread a line as much as Disney is allowing it to be of dipping into like the political kind of like
Climate.
current politics and
Yeah.
Well, because it's very interesting to kind of hear the way they talk about Fisk. It's very Trumpy. It's very.
oh, it's very MAGA.
It's very
Especially
MAGA.
the kid that he takes on is very MAGA.
Yeah.
It is because
No,
like
Art
Yeah,
imitates
it
life.
really does a good job of because Matt walks around New York City and he's hearing everyone talk about
Fisk.
I was gonna say Trump. He hears everyone talk about Fisk, and it's kind of spot on of how people talk about Trump. You know, you have people that saying, I don't trust the guy. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, man. He seems interesting, so I'm going to tune in. You know,
gets
it's
stuff
like,
done.
it's a
yeah, he
thing,
gets stuff done.
So it's very much a
But the
depiction
stuff
of
that
how
he
it is
gets
today.
done is very minimal. Like
Yeah.
when he's in a traffic jam because of a pothole,
Yeah.
he exits out and says like, "Why is this pothole not being filled up?" He's like, "Well, we got to cross the red tape and do this and this." He's like, "I'm your jurisdiction. Fill this hole up." And then people all of a sudden
And
like,
they start
think of-
filming him, and they're
Yeah.
just like, Fisk is getting things done.
Yeah.
He's filling
Potholes.
a pothole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all he did, but that's how people get to like him now.
And then Fisk as mayor is pushing he's bordering the line of criminal and civil servant.
Also, there's this parallel of we all know that John Berthal is going to be coming back in the show, so the Punisher's in there, right? It's also kind of funny that they're doing social commentary on the fact that, and I completely forgot about this. A couple years ago, this was during Trump's first run, police officers were using the Punisher logo to advertise their thing. So they actually referenced
blue
that.
line with the Punisher
so
patch.
it's interesting because they're actually referencing it in this season.
Yes.
Because the bad cops have Punisher tattoos.
But here's the thing. You do get frustrated hearing it because when that was happening in real life, yes, it's hypocritical because the Punisher was not symbolic of
they're
police.
dumb. They don't know what they were
It's also
slapping on their chest. It looks cool and it's edgy.
It's also super funny too because I think Marvel Comics actually did do a comic where Punisher beats up a cop.
Yeah,
because he has the Punisher logo on him.
Does not follow order. That's his
whole
point.
And he's like,
he's chaos.
He's like, I'll kill you if you do the things that I do.
He's a known cop killer.
He doesn't. That's not what he does.
But idiots do this and wear the logo. So now the show is advertising that.
Interesting.
And it's going to show when he comes back in the show, I want to see what angle they do with the Punisher.
No, they already showed some set photos, and it shows an entire squad, police officers with the Punisher.
With the Punisher logo, yeah.
With the Punisher logo, and it's kind of like Fisk's own little militia.
The vigilante squad.
Yeah, it's the anti-vigilante squad, and they're meant to hunt down active vigilantes like White Tiger, Spider-Man, Punisher.
Which they do mention in the show.
Hey.
They do mention Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They mention Spider-Man. They don't say Spider-Man. They just say arachnid.
No, they say. The city will no longer need the protection of vigilantes like a
with
flying devil or a man in a spider suit or a skull-wearing gun-wielding maniac or something like that.
Yeah. So they've only mentioned those three, which also there's so many more villains. Like it's New York. It's New York. There's so many other heroes.
I do like that differentiation because
because it's very ground level
neighborhood heroes. Because the Punisher, Spider-Man, and Daredevil are not Avengers. So when you think of like Iron Man or Hawkeye or anyone else, those are global heroes. They're like intergalactic now at this point, right? But you're not talking about Spider-Man or the three that were mentioned because they're not technically Avengers.
I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't mention Luke.
Luke Cage?
Because Luke Cage is kind of a hero in the Bronx.
Because I think they're still kind of afraid to bring him in. They did reference his club.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Harlem's Paradise or something like that.
Yeah. But the show so far is interesting because it's kind of giving you what you guys asked for when it came to She-Hulk, which is you guys wanted a very I
want a lawyer show.
A lawyer show. And they're allowing it to be a dramatic lawyer show second to the vigilante stuff, and I think that's going to be the first half of the season. It's allowing us to kind of get to know this new Matt Murdock, and I'm enjoying it.
I like the idea. I really do like, especially the ending of episode 2. I love that moment
when he gives in,
when he finally gives in to the devil. And there's a scene, and I love that scene where he opens up the door, the 2 dirty cops come in, and then the 2 dirty cops just start wailing on Matt. They just start wailing on this blind lawyer. And they both know he's a lawyer. He's a prominent lawyer. And the 2 cops are beating on him, and then he's bleeding from his nose, and they go, "We gotta kill him." And he gets a gun, and you hear Matt going, "Don't do it. Don't do this." And then the cop even says, he's a lawyer. People will know that he's dead. And he goes, "Doesn't matter. He was here. That means he knows about what's going on." And then right when he's about to pull the trigger, Matt flips it and then just starts wailing on both. Those guys are dead.
Hell yeah.
They're not dead, but I would think
his neck is broken, Brian.
Do you think his neck?
Didn't you hear the snap?
No, so I kind of blacked out when the arm went this way and you saw the bone come out.
He literally gets the arm, flips it, and the bone snaps out of it. And then you see him, he grabs one of the guys by the shirt, flips him, and then lands on his head, and his head goes and breaks on the thing. And then as they're dead or unconscious, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like Arkham Asylum going I knocked him out. You broke his neck, Batman. He's paralyzed. He's alive.
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping. He's dying.
He's sleeping.
But anyway, I love this moment because Matt has been trying the past 2 episodes to not go to be the devil of Hell's Kitchen. and then he finally he beats up these 2 cops, and you just see him, and then he just and then it just cuts.
Nice.
And you're just like,
Out of
oh,
frustration.
like just out of frustration. You're like, oh my god, and it's so good. Just
is
leading into episode 3, you're like,
Marvel's back.
yeah, you're like, oh my god, this is so good. I can't wait to see what happens in episode 3.
So before we move on to Mickey 17 and Invincible, because we're running out of time soon, you mentioned in the chat that people were hating the show.
I had a lot of people criticize customers coming in.
Yeah.
So what were the criticisms? Because they're idiots.
No, most of them were just like, it doesn't feel like the Netflix show.
Well, what do you want? The Netflix show was done 7 years ago on a lower production scale.
Yeah.
I got a lot of I've heard a lot of complaints that people are mad because Foggy dies so quickly.
It gives him incentive.
Yeah. And I feel like the problem is that it's really hard to write a character when he's in a good place. And the beginning of the first episode, Matt's in a good place. He's in a law firm with his best friends. There, the Devil of Hell's Kitchen is a prominent staple in the city. People love him and everything else. And, there's only, up on where he could go. And then his best friend dies and everything falls apart. It's an interesting take of like, what do we do?
But it kind of goes to show that he has to rebuild himself up, because with the fight with Bullseye, the guy was taking hit after hit. He got stabbed like a
at least
good
10
10,
times.
12
At least 10
times.
times.
Yeah. So and he still managed to get up and do something like that we've never seen him do before.
I imagine that his Kevlar suit helped a lot.
It did help a lot. But there's a thing that he does with Bullseye that is so unhinged and it's done so quick too, that it kind of like, you can see that this version of Daredevil is done, and it separates what we're about to get, because he crossed the line.
Yeah, he literally. It's
good.
me, cause I'm close.
It's a good scene. It's a really good scene. I love the whole fight with Bullseye. It's an amazing shot.
Yeah,
everything's really good. I love the diner scene with him and Fisk. That's a really dope scene.
Good dialogue.
Great dialogue. Yeah. Great everything else. The actor that plays White Tiger, I'm loving him so far.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He was a great actor.
Well, we're getting a new White Tiger.
I imagine we're going to get his daughter,
because
that's who usually is the White Tiger in most comics or iterations.
In the newer iterations,
yeah, it's his daughter who becomes the White Tiger. So if he happens to pass away, if he happens to be assassinated or die or anything like that inside the show, then it leads up to his daughter taking over the mantle of the White Tiger, in which that kind of fixes everything. But he's doing a really good job as White Tiger. I really enjoy that storyline. I like all that. I'm interested to see what the Punisher does.
The show is going to be hard to wait for every single
So
week.
Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox, they were talking about it, and there was we were talking about it in the car yesterday, and one of the interviewers goes, "What episode are you guys interested for people to see?" And he goes, 8 and 9 are our favorites. He goes, 8's my favorite. Cox says, no, 9 is mine. And then they then say, but I'm really interested to see what people think of 5. Because 5, there's a lot of stuff that happens. And then he was then going like, oh yeah, but 3 also has a really good episode. And then like they start like kind of like not spoiling things, but they're going like, oh man, like this scene and that.
They're hyping it.
Like they're hyping it. And in my head I'm going like, I really want to see episode 5 now.
Yeah.
Like
I want to see what
happens in episode 5 because I'm so intrigued. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super happy with how this turned out.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's move on to Mickey 17 and Invincible. You guys went to go see Mickey 17 last night.
We went to go see Mickey 17. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's a different movie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Compared to all the superhero movies that we've been seeing, horror films.
It's social commentary, right?
Kind of.
It does. It tackles on to politicians and their power and
the industry,
power.
corporations.
It also goes about like the morality of if we were to go to a new country. So instead, if we were to go to a new world, who technically would have sovereignty of the world?
New planet, then.
Yeah. So like if we were to go over to this new planet.
Like Mars.
Like, let's just say Mars. If we were to go to this new planet, and once we get there, we happen to find out that there's creatures on the planet that already live there. Do we have the right to kill them?
I don't know. History says that we have been, so Well,
that's what we've always done.
Yeah,
what humanity does. It's in our nature.
Absolutely.
The white man.
So
no, just in survival and
but
our instincts
but
in general.
that's very much how this show.
Self-preservation.
That's very much how this show happens, and it's also going about the morality of if somebody signs up to consistently die, and then be regenerated, is that right? Also, are you killing a different version of them every single time?
Gotcha.
Because they even mentioned in it where he was like,
clone rights.
well, because he even talks about it too, where he goes, technically every single me has been different according to my girlfriend. My girlfriend says that each one has been different. So 3 was very clingy. 5, which was very neurotic.
So there's no like origin that they keep pulling from. There's no original one.
Like a blueprint.
There is a 1.
There was a 1.
Yes.
Oh.
But he died.
He died.
And
So then, how are they getting the copies?
So they have his,
they have his DNA and they have his memories.
they have his genetic.
So they're making copies of a copy.
So so they basically got the original, and then they put him on a flash drive.
Yeah.
It's like a giant brick with like the original's like DNA and his memories and everything else inside of it.
Okay.
And then it kind of resets every single time. So every single time he dies, he wakes up out of the printer. So he has a continuous life.
My question is, and
That's
do they
happening.
address this in the movie? Does one have a reason to not die? The OG. So, like for example, like what's Robert Pattinson's character's name?
Mickey.
Okay, so Mickey 1, the OG Mickey.
Yes.
Did he need to put Mickey Prime? Did he need to put himself in a position where he had to die, or could he have just said like,
I think he dies from the actual.
Yeah, because basically, I mean, they explain why he signs up for it. He gets into some trouble.
He owes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they explain, okay, they banned cloning on Earth, but they could technically clone in outer space.
So like in the sea.
So basically, in the midst of their expedition to get to this planet, they need someone to constantly test if it's safe to go on this planet, or is it safe to be changing things outside of the spaceship. He's essentially a lab rat.
Yeah, he's they classified him as expendable. Yeah. So he's the expendable crewmate. Yeah. So even when they go on like missions outside of the ship, there's a scene where another crewmate dies, and then all of a sudden, like you see Mark Ruffalo, who plays a great villain. Yeah. He is such a douchebag.
He plays a great conservative politician,
and I love the fact that they gave him these big pearly teeth.
Veneers?
Like they gave him like huge veneers. Like he's like, oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah. Why is the scumbag in my and like it's so over the top that I'm like.
And Toni Collette plays his wife.
Yeah,
she plays it so good too.
Yeah, and what was it like? She's like, yes, the highest class of society is sauce. Yes. That's how you know that you're the top echelon of society is when your food has sauce.
When your food has sauce.
Yeah, if you're just eating plain meat, then you might as well be a scavenger. And then you see Mickey look down at his plate and it's just almost raw meat. And then he looks at the other girl's plate and it has like a little piece of meat with like a bunch of sauces all over it, and he's like, damn it. But it's very interesting because they even go, because in the world that they're in, if there's ever a copy of if 2 copies exist, you scrap them both. Yeah. You got to scrap the whole project then.
Because there was an incident with that happening on Earth.
Where it was a serial killer.
It was a serial killer, and then it was a whole thing and stuff like
so
that.
One serial killer was like at a movie taping, and then somebody else, and he was murdering homeless people. Yeah. And then they were like, well, he had an alibi. And then they ended up figuring out, oh, he was able to make clones, so there were 3 of him. And
because both of them was funny. Both of them were in holding, being questioned. No one knew the third one, and then literally just murdered another.
Yeah, and he starts murdering more homeless people in the streets.
So it's pretty well structured in the sense that they build a world that kind of answers a lot of these questions.
And
it's really good. I mean, overall, the story was great.
The morality of it, too, was interesting because I loved the idea of once you had 17 and 18, because there was a 17 and there was an 18. Because they think Mickey dies. 18.
Yeah, they thought 17 died, but he survived, and they were like, okay, reprint another one. And they reprint another one, but he came back, and he's like...
And 17 and 18 are vastly different people. Not only that, so then 18 goes on this thing of like, I should kill you. Like, I should just murder you, and then nobody will ever know that you're
I'm 18, everyone thinks you're dead, so...
So he's Andrew at 18.
So I can just murder you, and nobody would care. And then as he's trying to murder him, he even says like, "What's wrong with you?" And he goes, "I'm scared." And he goes, "What do you mean? Why are you scared?" And he goes, "Because every single time I've died, I've always thought I'm coming back as myself. But because you are me, when I die, that's the end of me."
Oh, so they realize that the consciousnesses are different.
Because I won't continue, I will just be darkness.
Yeah.
Whereas if you continue, you will continue in my life.
That sucks. Okay.
Super
it's-
existential.
It's the existential death, crisis thing. You're like, I'm dead after this.
I'm gonna
That's
feel
it.
empty watching this.
Oh,
movie.
dude, it's
I
so
am
good.
Excited.
It's so good.
A22, you knock it out of the
Remember in the
park.
theater, we sat in the next seat next to me.
Weirdest
Yeah.
situation. I don't know how this always happens to me.
Yeah.
Always happens. So we sat in we sat in our seats,
Yeah.
and it was the original seat that I had before you canceled.
Yeah.
So we got shifted one seat over. So I sat down and I was like, okay, well the movie theater's not
20,
full.
Yeah, like I'm 20
And there was
now.
plenty of seats down the row. And there's like seats right next to me. This dude walks up. He looks at the seat number. I think I had his seat. He then sits right next to me. And I'm like,
he kind of like looks at Nick, and I didn't see his face, but in the peripherals, it looked like this. In my peripherals.
but the thing is that he keeps like looking at me.
Yeah.
And then he just like, and then he sat right next to me for the whole movie.
Yeah.
And like, I looked and then looked down the row, empty seats. Just empty seats all the way down.
Centered.
Yeah,
too.
even the center. Like the center was open.
Yeah.
And he didn't take it. He just sat next to me, didn't say a word,
Yeah.
and watched the movie. And I was like,
the reason why
This
we're
is
saying
awkward.
this is because the whole movie, the character of Mickey 17 at least, he's
a coward.
He's a coward. He's always constantly saying his life sucks and stuff like that. So we were saying, what if the guy sitting next to Nick was
Just
like
like a
so
sexist-
mad, and he was like watching the movie, he's like, my life sucks. I feel you, Mickey.
I get it, Mickey. I feel the same way, dude.
Douchebag told my seat.
Yeah, this jerk off sitting in my seat right now, and I could be having a great viewing in the seat that I bought, but I can't. So man,
He had a better view where he was sitting.
I know he did. He was more centered.
Yeah, he was more. I don't get it.
It was the morality.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think maybe it may
The
have been
ethics were wrong.
maybe
morality,
It
the
may
principle.
have
The principle.
Yeah, it may have been the principle of the matter, but at a certain, honestly, I even told him too. I go, I don't think this is my seat.
Yeah.
And I go, well, I'm gonna sit here until somebody corrects me.
And he didn't correct you.
And he never
So if
corrected
he would have
me.
corrected you.
I would have been like, oh yeah, dude, no problem. I
Oh,
would've
I'm
moved
sorry.
over.
You know what? I'm going to be a nice human being. I'll go ahead and move over to my correct
Yeah.
seat.
Yeah, on the other side of Rene.
Yeah.
He just chose hate.
Yeah, he chose it, which I thought would have been funnier if he would have been
Went
like,
home, looked in the mirror.
the only thing I think I could have done that
Should
would
have
have
said
been
something.
Why didn't you say that earlier? It would have been funny.
I think the only thing that would have been funnier is if I would have done what he did.
Yeah.
If he told me to move, and then he then moved closer to Rene, and then I sat on the other side of him. I think that would have been I think that would have like closed the loop.
Yeah.
On him, and just been
How
like,
old
oh,
was this guy?
Oh, he was like in his maybe
like
Early-
mid to late 30s.
mid to late 30s at least.
Yeah. He was
was a
around our age.
millennial.
Yeah, he was around our age. I was like,
Damn,
that's
dude,
why I
you
was
guys
like, oh,
not
this.
worried about principle?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny. But Mickey 17,
Yeah.
it's definitely a good movie, good
Yeah, no,
existential
definitely
movie.
really good.
It
Makes you feel
I
like
like
crap.
that.
Did
I
it
like
have
that.
the typical
Well-
Hollywood ending or no?
kind of.
Well, not okay, because
What do you consider a typical Hollywood ending?
Happy ending.
It would depend on your definition. Of it.
everything gets resolved?
Okay.
Yeah, if that anything, that's the better.
No,
way
yeah,
to
that's a
explain-
Hollywood ending. The
Yeah.
resolutions are
Yeah,
Hollywood.
it's
Yeah.
it's not just happy, but it's just everything gets resolved.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but it also does have it has like a weird existential ending as well.
It does.
It has both.
Yeah,
That's the South Korean influence.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
it's like
and that's
this
that director.
oh yeah, like what we're doing
He
is
did-
good.
He did that for Snowpiercer. He did that for Parasite.
Yeah, like what we're doing is good, but also what you're doing is also kind of bad for like humanity on this planet.
He didn't direct. It's a different director, right? Train to Busan. That's not him.
No, that's
No,
not him.
that's not him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did Snowpiercer, Parasite.
And
He
some
did
other
do a train movie technically,
Yes.
so you're half right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean the Willy Wonka sequel.
Yeah. It's great.
I love how people were like, oh yeah, this is just Willy Wonka. This is
I
just
mean,
It really
there's
is,
enough
yeah.
parallels. Like
'Cause the
I
big
was
W?
blown away, and I was
Yeah.
like,
William.
That's not just the only reason why.
Oh yeah, like the fact that he was using children like Oompa Loompas.
Question for the last topic: isn't done season 3?
No, it still has one more
episode.
Yeah.
Should we kind of go over it, or should we save it for next week?
We can kind of go over it so we can talk about
At least I mean, it is a big episode.
It's
in the story, but I don't know. I mean,
so this season of is really interesting. It shows Mark at his highest.
Yeah.
Mark is officially the strongest hero in the
on
world.
Earth, yeah.
Hell yeah, brother!
He finally is he actually is living up to his mantle right now.
Yeah.
He is every single fight
Pre
that
or
he's been in,
post costume change? When he wears the black suit.
he changes because he's pissed off at Cecil.
Yeah.
And he's done with being
He's done with like the brightness of the colors, because he feels like it's a way of him moving on and stuff, because that costume scheme was not, I don't want to say tainted, but it is very much, that was me when I was starting.
Yes.
I feel like I'm at my, not his prime, but he's
More
at his
maturity.
highest right now. And I feel like that needs to change with my costume.
Has he become full Viltrumite and started to kill at least this version of Mark?
No, he's
No.
still holding the.
He's still holding punches.
He's still pulling his punches. The one that you have to worry about more is Oliver, his little brother.
Yeah.
Oh, so we get the
The little brother is now
older.
He's maybe a year now, but Viltrumites, his species, Thraxans, I think it was.
Thraxans, yeah.
Thraxans age faster, so he jumped from basically being a couple of months to being 9, and they were like, he's gonna keep aging like this until he hits maturity, and then once he hits maturity, he's gonna balance. He'll stable out and he'll age like a regular human, or he'll age like a regular Viltrumite.
That's interesting.
And so he jumped straight into being like 9 or 10. The only thing is that he has a better memory than Mark does. So even though he only spent maybe a year or 2 with his dad, he remembers his dad as a good man. And he takes his dad's lessons that he was teaching him while he was a baby to heart. So he has been taught by Omni-Man. And he even says, like, because he becomes Omni-Boy. He has the Omni-O and everything else, and he's like, I'm going to wear this so that way when people see it, they think of Dad. And they were like, that's a bad idea, dude. It's a terrible idea.
But this is the version of Omni-Man that wanted to do good, right?
No.
It's still Nolan.
So-
It just kind of has a different change.
So did Nolan teach Oliver about the Viltrumite ways at a young age?
I would
or-
imagine. I think because he says he remembers a lot of his dad. I don't know. He doesn't specifically say what he taught Oliver, but he then says like my mom was the most intelligent scientist on the planet, and if she loved Dad, then there must have been kindness in Dad, and there must have been beauty in Dad. If she loved him, and he loved my mom, so there has to be some good in him. And one of the more interesting episodes in the first or second episode, Alan the alien finds Nolan in the prison that he's in, and he's talking to him, and then you see Nolan, he's like staring outside, and he goes, "What are you thinking about?" And he goes, "I think I miss my wife."
Nolan.
Yeah.
Which
where
wife?
Where he misses Debbie.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's like, "I miss Debbie. Like I miss
Pet.
Yeah, well, because after the Thraxans were murdered by the Viltrumites, he had a better connection to the Thraxans than he did humanity. So when they were destroyed, he felt the way that Mark felt when he was killing humanity. So he now is like, I understand where Mark was coming from. So now I need that. So then Alan the alien is only getting stronger because they keep trying to kill Alan and they can't.
Yeah, because Alan has an ability that anytime he not dies, but when he gets wounded, his body will.
So he's Super Saiyan.
Yeah. So
basically.
anytime he gets hurt, his body will upgrade itself. and
Gotcha.
gets tougher.
Yeah, it's so funny too because there's a scene where, and I love the way that they're using editing this season. Because
God, yes.
like there's a scene where Nolan is talking to Alan because they can talk telepathically.
Yeah.
And as they're talking, he then goes like, you should leave here. They're going to figure out a way to kill you. And he goes, there's nothing they can do to kill me. And he goes, they'll find a way to kill you. And then all of a sudden he goes, what are they going to do? And he goes, they'll probably strap you to a giant laser and blow you up with it. And then he goes, no, they're not. And then it cuts and then you just see him and he's like, hey guys, can we talk about this?
And then he comes back. Then they're dragging him back. He's all steaming and stuff. And he's all like, so I guess they didn't kill you. He goes, no. The thing didn't work. He's all like,
No, yeah, but
This is Alan.
Yeah, Alan's
yeah.
like, and so then he comes back and he's just like, wow, that didn't work. And he goes, you're alive? And he goes, aw, did you miss me? And then he goes, no, I just thought you were gonna die. And he goes like, you missed me.
You missed.
And he's like, are we friends?
Yeah.
I think we're friends now, Nolan.
Alan's an interesting character.
There's a lot of episodes with Alan and Nolan.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay.
so great. There's a lot of episodes. I also really like Mark having a person, because him and Adam Eve are finally together.
Yeah.
This is does he split with Amber in
Season two. Yes, season two.
Is it a like a nasty separation?
No.
Or like really nasty.
No, it's
separation?
more like a realization of like it's not going to work out.
Oh, okay.
it
I kind
happen-
of started to see that in the
Yeah.
episode.
So it happens at the end of season 2 with there's a woman Vulturemite that basically shows up, and him and Amber on a date, and then she shows up and she just shows up and she has Amber by the throat.
Yeah.
And she goes, if I just squeeze, she'll die. So you have to do what I say.
Yeah.
And after that, Amber's pretty messed up where she goes, I can't live in your world.
Yeah.
I'm going to die. Like no matter what, people find out who you are, they're going to try and kill me. And they were like, yeah, it's probably better if we split.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which-
Mark was very understanding. I think because it also showed that Mark the love wasn't there.
Yeah.
with her.
Yes.
And then when he's with Eve, it's different. You could tell they write it, and then their chemistry is so much more different as well too.
Yeah, it's so great too because
The chemistry was there since like season 1.
and that's the
Yeah,
great
no,
thing
but when
too.
they finally get together, it's more healthy.
Because you also have this moment of moments that kind of similar, parallel to him and Amber, where like he'll show up and he's like, he goes, I'm so sorry, I'm late. I know I messed up our first date. Things happen, and then she just goes, Mark, calm down. I get it.
Yeah.
I saw the news.
Yeah.
I understand what happened.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. I understand where you were.
Yeah.
That you needed to deal with that. I'm okay. Don't worry. And like, he can talk for real with Eve. Like he talks.
Yeah.
Like there are moments at the end of kind of almost every other episode where he'll talk for real of what his worries are, how he's feeling, and everything else. And then Eve is telling him what's going on, and it's a very building a very strong relationship, and it's very good.
Cool. Yeah.
The other person that does an amazing job this season is Rex. I
Yeah.
love Rex this season.
Rex gets a great arc in here.
He's getting a great arc.
getting
In
good
season
arc.
3
Season 2
was
the
the
end-
start.
Yeah,
No,
the
so-
whole thing where he fights those Cobra dudes.
Yeah,
that's the
serpent
start of his character
Yeah,
arc.
because after he almost dies, he's like,
Do they replace his hand?
it's a robot hand,
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
so he can shoot stuff out of his hand now.
Okay. That makes sense.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Besides that, the last episode that we had was you saw it the other day when we were here. It was the Mark War.
Yes.
Where all the marks from different universes, it was like 17 of the worst marks come to Earth, and they destroy every major city the way that Nolan destroyed Chicago.
Yeah, in a span of 5 days.
3 days.
3 days?
Oh, so
3
they
days.
actually
They show, okay, this is what happened in days 1. Boom. Okay, that ended day 2. In
Yeah,
the war.
they're going 1, 2, 3.
and
they show
they're
you.
spread out throughout the whole world.
This is our
Well,
Mark's universe.
The evil marks.
Evil marks. And then Mark is trying to take them out as he's going, but you're having this issue of he could only be so many places at once, and people are getting in the way. Like Adam Eve is staying and kind of going like, I can help you. And he's like, get the hell out of here. You need to leave. And she's like, no, I can help you. And she just gets totally just thrashed through in one of the fights. And even the 2 marks go, you can't fight us and save her. You're screwed. And it's very interesting. This season also had a lot to do with like Cecil being attacked, like Cecil and him having like a grudge, where they're no longer on speaking terms, and they're no longer they're butting heads now, because Mark is like, I don't want nothing to do with you.
So the bad marks are in this marks world, and they're the ones destroying the cities in this current.
And they're killing off people
because in our mark is the only good mark.
The only good
in
one.
the multiverse, because they said that basically every mark in every other multiverse had their powers when they were young, and that's led into them being evil or becoming full Viltrumite.
So if they're destroying major cities, is there a way for this universe to fix itself then?
You actually do see that there's a lot of heroes that were able to defeat marks because
There's some that it took a couple of groups of people to do it, but there's some people that can take
not
on
only
marks.
that, but also
He's beatable.
Well, the thing is that not only is he beatable, those marks, because they got their powers so early and they were already the most powerful,
They just plateaued.
they plateaued and they never trained.
Ah.
Whereas our mark, after being beaten by the Viltrumites for the first time, he went on a full training spree for the last year.
Yeah.
For the last year, all he's been doing is trainings, because even in the first episode, they were like, he's 100% stronger than he was when he fought her. He's 75% faster. He's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, okay, so he's been training. He's been maximizing all of his abilities. All the other marks never did. So, because even when they're fighting other Invincibles, Cecil and them say, the one good thing that we can say, this mark is weaker than our prime mark. So we can probably win because of that. Because we've been setting up to beat the stronger mark.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, which I'm very interested to see how that kind of plays out.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it bleeds.
Yeah.
Also Aaron Paul has an episode.
Aaron Paul plays who?
Aaron
He
Paul
plays a character in.
Yeah, I think I've seen clips of it.
So
I know what you're talking about.
so in the first season, remember how they had the woman that got dismembered and everything like that? She's falling through the building. That's her brother, Aaron Paul's character,
okay.
and he hates Invincible because he was never brought to justice for the destruction of Chicago.
I see.
And they were
So that was a really interesting episode, to be honest. It was really good. That was a really good one.
because all of that comes back up in the last episode.
Yeah.
Because he's saying what everybody's thinking of, like, this is all his fault. This would have never happened if Invincible was dead. If we would have taken out Invincible and he wasn't a hero or anything like that, this would have never happened. This is all Invincible's fault. And then now we have Jeffrey Dean Morgan coming at the end for the final boss. You had a big old boss with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I'm excited for the final episode.
Well, we'll talk more about it next week once the season wraps up. It'll be interesting. How many more seasons are left, too? They said they want to do 5, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends, because there's a lot of story. Like, there's 5 compendiums, and they're only 2, and they're like maybe a compendium and a half in.
Yeah, they're a compendium and a half in right now. They're like at that. They're almost at the halfway mark. That's where we're at in Invincible, at least.
Of Compendium 1.
I know, as of like the story.
Oh, of his story.
As a whole, like, we're almost in halfway. Once we get to the Viltrumite War, we're halfway into the story.
So there's more.
So there is more, and then there's a lot more that happens after.
Okay,
as
so
well.
there's plenty
The Viltrumite War is probably the biggest story arc in the series.
I do like there's an interesting episode that they have in this season where Mark goes to the future. And you get a glimpse of what the future holds for him, where it's been 1,000 years. And Immortal has basically Nazified the entire planet.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
because
Immortal.
Because the Immortal wanted Mark to come back, so he enslaved everybody on Earth, so that way Mark would find it appalling and would come back, because the Immortal feels he's been alive too long and he's gone insane. And so the Immortal even tells him, he goes, "You're finally back from Viltrum." And the Immortal is the king of Earth. And they were like, how did this happen? And they don't really explain a whole lot. It's just, you've been off planet for so long that I want to die. Kill me.
Fly into the sun. Kill yourself.
So he says that he can't.
Yeah, because that's not a.
Apparently that's not a warrior's death. He wants to die a warrior's death.
Strap yourself to a rocket, try and break out, and if you don't, then you just die. I tried.
You just see him tied to a rocket, and he's like, "Oh no,
Oh, I can't. This is impossible. Not.
oh no!" It's it's Megamind. It's the death in Megamind, where like the laser's coming in and he slows time, and he's like, "I would be free. Like if I die right now, I'm kind of good." Like So he fakes his own death.
Alrighty, we got to wrap up the show because we're about to hit 2 hours.
We hit 2 hours.
2 hours.
Did we?
Yeah.
Just about.
Fun.
But
all right, but
take
we
a
did.
minute off.
We
Minute
took
30 off.
Yeah, but we did. We talked a lot this show.
Yeah.
There was a lot to talk about, which is a good thing. We didn't even talk about the Oscars that happened this last week.
Who
nobody
cares?
cares.
Honestly, this wasn't
Who
even a good one.
cares?
Conan O'Brien was good.
The fact that people won with AI
Next,
and others didn't.
Next week we watch Novocaine.
We do watch
Yeah,
Novocaine.
yeah.
Novocaine is
Novocaine.
next week.
We'll
You gonna watch
review that.
Novocaine with us?
Are you gonna watch Novocaine with us?
I will.
Okay.
Gotta get
Put it
your
in my
ticket.
calendar.
Cool.
Get your ticket.
With that said, keep an eye out. We will be announcing something soon. If you made it this far, great. Thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, watch our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and xmen.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Keeping Up With the Nerds. Check out our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. Please keep an eye out, guys, because we have some important announcements coming your way within the next week or two. We'll see when we can start announcing certain things.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us here at issue 238. Renee, are you ready to sign us out?
Yes. This has been issue 238. My name is
Bryan.
I'm still faded.
Recorded at Undercity Comics. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you all next time.
Hey, can you pass that?
Bye. Stop.